We know you love us, but the information on our podcast is provided for educational and entertainment purposes only. I understand I'm both an LPC and an LMFT. However, this is not intended as a substitute for professional services of any kind. If you or anyone you know needs professional help, please seek mental health services. Hi, this is Emma.
Hey, this is Zorric.
Host of the Date podcast. And
we
are very excited. I know, I always exclude Zorric, but I don't care.
We.
Okay. That's yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. We're really excited to do this show for you guys today.
Okay, me too.
Do we have a drum roll?
We do.
Drum roll, please.
No, we don't. We have an applause. We're clapping.
Your job is to do the soundboard.
Hey, I'm trying as hard as I can. But you know what? I'm not perfect. Okay.
Because we have two of my favorite people that I like listening to. It's Eva Arreguin and Rafael Tamayo, who are hosts of the De Colores radio podcast. And so it's a production of the Dallas-based De Colores Collective. So De Colores Radios aims at celebrating the culture through conscious and fun conversations, interviews, and more.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to ask them really deep questions about their lives.
As long as you're not asking them sexual questions, I think.
Of course not.
Fine.
Penis size will not be asked.
Gosh.
Okay.
Ooh,
I'll stay away from that. Go ahead.
You don't have to. I didn't say you had to.
Rafa, are you going to be comfortable with that question?
I'm going to be very proud. This wine is starting to hit.
It's working.
But first,
you can find us on iTunes or Spotify or Google Play or wherever you get your podcasts. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and review. If you have any questions about our penis sizes, please send us an email at hello@datepodcast.com.
And please don't send me penis pictures. Nope.
We've had an episode about penis pictures before.
Wow.
With reason.
We're also on Instagram and Twitter at Date Podcast. All right, Emma. So now for the fun stuff, please.
Fun stuff. I have two things.
Okay.
So one, on my Insta story this past week. Yeah, he does this to me every week, you guys.
All right, go ahead.
So on our Date Podcast Insta story this past week, I posted a question of who wanted what at their wedding. And the options were either open bar or a tiger.
Tiger, of course.
And I'm really upset that the listeners who voted picked a freaking tiger for me.
Eva, what would you like at your wedding?
Open bar.
Thank you.
Rafa?
That's a tough call.
What is the tiger gonna do?
But
a tiger can kill you. I guess so can an open bar.
I guess I'm just thinking of that episode of Eastbound and Down when they had a tiger in the cafeteria. I did. I watched some really crazy stuff. But
Eastbound and Down is one of my least favorite TV shows.
Wait, did you watch The Poldarks?
No, I didn't.
I did
No.
with my sister.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the it's one of those terrible TV shows. It's like a guilty pleasure.
No. So Zorric and I had this conversation over the weekend where he texted me and he said, I want a tiger at my wedding. And I was like, okay, this is perfect. Let's make this an Instagram poll. And all the listeners thought that Zorric wanted the open bar and that I wanted the tiger. And it was actually reversed. I want the open bar and Zorric wants a tiger. And I know that I have to have an open bar because when I had my quinceañera, my dad made sure we had an open bar. We had to have an open bar.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal if it's not an open bar at the wedding. It is a big deal. But
it was a big deal at our quinceañera. My dad was throwing a fit. What do you mean I can't have an open bar?
What if it's a baby tiger? What if it's
a cub?
Oh, yeah.
That little thing can still bite the crap out of you.
But still, have you guys seen a tiger?
Yes, in the
Up
zoo.
close in person.
No, at the zoo.
At a wedding, though.
No.
Because
that would be a
is
first.
different.
What else
would it do for you?
You just look at it. Oh my gosh, it's a tiger at the wedding.
No one would ever forget our wedding.
Although Zorric did say that when he gets married, I'm going to be either one of the groomsmen or the bridesmaid, which I was happy with. And that basically my job would be just to carry wine and drink wine. And I was like, I'm okay with that.
That's a solid.
That's the best job ever, right?
That's not a bad
Don't
gig
give it
at
to
all.
the tiger though.
I'm not getting married to him, so whoever's marrying him gets to have that conversation.
Good luck with whoever
don't
that
give
is.
the wine to the tiger.
Yeah, I was talking about the wine.
Oh.
I was like,
The turnip
No.
tiger.
I will not be giving
Tony the turnip tiger.
Anyway, so I just wanted to gripe about that a little bit. I know who voted for the cat or the tiger, and I know who voted for the open bar. And the people who voted for the open bar are my favorite people.
What did Kale vote for? That's
What
my
do you
favorite
think?
person. The tiger.
Yeah,
Of
you're
course.
wrong, Kale. Again.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I actually want to.
That's her son.
Sorry, Gail. So I want to talk about something serious, something that is really close and dear and near to my heart.
What is it?
Game of Thrones
Oh, okay. Yes.
just released when the final season will air, which will be in April. So it's like 5 months away.
Okay.
And my little Game of Thrones watch party people, we have already started the schedule of
Doesn't she
party
sound?
planning
She sounds so serious, right?
She
Look at her.
does. But I'm
He's into
down
it.
for
Yeah.
it.
You know, like I'm a Lannister. Okay, so like if you want to come to that, like to let me know, I'll make you a T-shirt.
please.
with
I'm not a
your house
Lannister,
on
though.
it.
God,
No, like we
I'm
not a
have
Lannister.
T-shirts. I'm a Lannister too.
I said I'm not
He's
allowed.
not.
Oh, what
Oh.
are you? Don't judge me for being a Lannister.
No, I'm
I'll
not.
burn you.
Wait,
No,
Are those
I
the
would
people
never
that-
judge you. A person who
incest
always
family?
pays their debts is someone to respect.
Thank you.
Wait, they're not the incest family, or they
Yes,
are?
they are.
Yes.
They are.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of them.
I didn't like Cersei at first, but now I relate more to her because I am that petty in real
Oh,
life.
I'm scared of you now.
Just a little.
Yeah,
It's the
Cersei
Napoleon
petty.
factor in that as well. I'm short, Napoleon.
Got it,
We want to
got
take
it.
over the world.
So did you choose to be House Lannister?
No, we took a quiz to figure out who our houses
okay.
were, and based on that answer, we made T-shirts.
I wonder what I'm gonna need that quiz because
It's
I'm
like
gonna wonder.
BuzzFeed or
What do you think you are, Rafa? Do you
I
think-
would. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna go with Stark.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I think you
I would
are.
also. I would maybe think Targaryen.
Okay.
Not.
That's cute or whatever.
What here's the thing about Targaryens. It's kind of like being Gryffindor in Harry Potter. Everybody wants to be Gryffindor. Everybody wants to be a Targaryen and a Stark. And guess
That's
what?
true.
Some of us are not. Like, I'm a Slytherin. I'm proud of it. I'm a Lannister, and I'm proud of it.
Okay.
Own it.
No. Yeah. Own it.
Anyways, but if you're interested, like you guys, I'm having watch parties and we're already like trying to get our schedule. My sister's boyfriend, it wants to like roast a pig for the season finale. Like
Oh
we get
my
legit.
This is a
we
big
have
deal.
chalices,
This
you
is
guys.
what is this? It's supposed to be the longest cinematic fight
Yes.
ever.
All the
Ever.
episodes are at least 60 minutes.
Yes.
At least
Wow,
an
good.
hour.
What is that
Did you see?
budget,
Did you
though?
see any of the rumor stuff on Reddit that the director was on for?
No, because I want to be surprised.
Cool.
You
I'm
do?
yeah.
I did. Yeah, I'm one of
I don't
those that's
like
like
knowing everything.
sending drones and the spies that are out looking at. Like HBO went all out. They did decoy sets and like did fake scripts and like really went to the T to try to make sure that like nothing from the final season leaked.
Good.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
It's good. I started crying reading the article whenever Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow, said that he cried at the table read. I was like, oh my gosh, if he's crying, like I'm gonna cry. Like I am. This is legit. Like this is my life. And then I'm like, what am I gonna do after it's over? Like I'm gonna grieve, you guys. So like if you see me in summer, like wearing just all black, like being sad, just let me be. Like I'm grieving.
Aw.
Let me go through my process.
What about the prequel? They're doing, and they got Naomi Watts. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I don't
Oh
know
my
if I
gosh.
want to. I
I
don't
don't know
know.
if I- how I
need
feel
to
about that
convince
yet
myself
either.
a little. Yeah, I need to convince myself. I
Yeah.
think I'm not there yet because this is like I don't get the tingles anymore, and I love the tingles.
Did you guys read all the books? Both did you
I only
guys
read.
just?
I read the
No,
first one
I
and
haven't.
started the second one.
Okay. Okay.
And I started reading the second one on my trip to Scotland 6 years ago. So
Scotland.
So does Eva have a family? Is she Stark or is she? What do you guys think?
Yikes. I've only watched like the first season and then the last season, so I don't remember their names that well. I want to be a dragon.
Targaryen.
no, she doesn't want to be a Targaryen.
I want to be a dragon or the avocado egg. It looks like an avocado.
It does, doesn't it?
It does. That's what I gathered from the show. There's some interesting stuff, but
you know what? I also forget that people forget the Dothrakis. Like I think that
Is that Jason Momoa or whatever? Yeah, that was a good time. Except they kind of freaked me out a little.
They did some crazy stuff.
They were. They were.
And they were really hot though. So like to me that balanced it out.
Strokes off.
Jesus, that's a real life thing, kind of. Okay.
Not always.
What else do we have?
That's all I have.
Okay.
I just wanted to talk about. They announced it. It's like 5 months away. I'm like really excited. I like don't know what to do with myself right now. And I like it. Like I can just like finish with like the North remembers.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And I can't wait for Game of Thrones too.
Ooh,
Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
funny.
I could probably get into.
Game of Thrones is run by Jonathan Venice, who's on Queer Eye, and he's just hilarious, and I love him.
Is it like a YouTube thing or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
I will
She's
get you on
obsessed with
Queer Eye.
Queer Eye.
It's a good time. I don't blame you.
Okay, that's all I have. We can move on.
So Emma, who do we have today again?
Okay, so we have Eva Arreguin
Hi.
and Rafael Tamayo,
Hello.
who are from the Colores Collective podcast.
Cool. And they have a podcast here in Dallas.
Yes.
Correct, Amundo.
Correct. You're right.
So Rafa, how did you guys get into this?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the business of doing cultural and artsy stuff. But I met Eva through a mutual friend, Eva and her sister Pat.
How long ago?
2? No, 3?
Going on 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
On Bumble? Oh, you said 3 years.
I don't use Bumble. I'm just kidding.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah, we will. No, she was at an event that we did at the Cultural Center, and a mutual friend introduced us and said, hey, Eva, really into this kind of stuff. And it was the Selena event.
It was.
Yeah, that we
met
do.
through Selena.
Yeah, and so then she kind of stuck around and showed interest in some of the things that we do, and we invited her to lead some of the projects that we were doing. I always refer to the one project because I thought it was really cool, and I feel like it had room to grow. But
so much.
Yeah, but there was a young women's mentorship program that Eva led, and it was mentorship through photography. Ooh. And so it has satellite locations. We were one of the locations, but it was based out of Los Angeles. And they also had like Tijuana, yeah, and a few other places. But basically, these young women, young girls, would share their life experiences through photography. So it would be like
That's powerful.
It's super powerful, but it was really cool. And we had a small group of really cool girls there at the Cultural Center, and I enjoyed that program so much. But Eva was really, in front of that in terms of leading it, and. So after that, we kind of asked her to do a few more things with us. She coordinated our Dia de los Muertos party and several other events. And so we were kind of digging and saying, hey, well, what are you into? What do you want to see? And I know that she had studied film and...
Tell my life story.
And media and everything at UNT. And her sister had been in the same field. So they were coming around a lot at the Cultural Center, but... one night her sister had stopped by the Cultural Center and said, hey, there's these really cool parties. They're like safe spaces, but they're also inclusive and platforms for people to just have fun and be themselves. And this was happening in Atlanta, a party called Choloteca. And so I have
been talking about a podcast for months.
Yeah. And so when Pat had mentioned that party and Eva had been talking about the podcast, I was thinking, man, there's got to be a way where we can kind of foster what these, young women are talking about, because I could tell that they had that passion and that excitement for doing something. And I know that that's rare, when someone is really passionate about something, you can see it. But when it's just an idea that someone will forget about in a few months, you see that as well. And so after that meeting with Pat, I wrote this really long email. I don't do that often. I'm a very thanks,
man of few
bye,
words.
Cool, hello, hi, yes. That's the kind of...
Ooh, you drive me crazy already.
I drive myself crazy because I always got a million things going on.
No, not like that.
I think
I'm
Emma's
type
getting
A,
a little
and
sexy
I think he's
here.
a little type B, and you're those answers. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, well, no, and I don't mean that in the sense of disregarding whatever.
No, yeah, I get it. It's
But
like
yeah.
the K in a text where you read it and you're like, the K just means yes, I get this.
Right,
I read it.
confirmed,
Right.
affirmative. Here
And
we
I
go.
don't read it that way.
Yeah, and so, but I wrote this probably the longest email I've ever
was
written.
intense.
It was
Do you guys
really.
still have it?
Yes. I
Yeah.
looked at it after our 1 year because I was like, I want to remember what it was like.
Oh.
But I was excited about thinking where it could go, what this could become, and so I said we need to sit down, we need to figure this stuff out, we need to come up with a game plan, and let's just come together and map it out. And so we set up a meeting, and we talked and tried to find the best way to kind of, really present a platform that was what we all kind of came together with.
Yeah, we pretty much after that, he sent me that email and I forwarded it to Pat, and we were like, everybody bring your ideas to the table. And I want to say it was post-election,
I think it was.
2016, which was like really big deal to us. And if you listen to our podcast, we don't not ever talk about politics. So, because it's really embedded into who I am and definitely who Rafa is, even though he's a little more like subtle with it than I am. And so really it was definitely a big motivating factor to us because we felt like we needed to create this space, not just for Latinx people, but for people of color in general to feel like they had a place of support.
Can you guys just real quickly just explain what the term Latinx means to our listeners, please?
For sure. So identity is very in-depth and fascinating in general. Obviously, there's a lot of labels given to different cultural groups. Hispanic is one that's given to a lot of people from places that were colonized, essentially. Kind of, I guess.
And that term was created by the United States of America.
Right, to group us all together. I do not like that terminology. So if I have to be grouped in a really broad way that's not specific to my identity, which is Mexican American, it would be Latino. So now that we're in 2018 and we're trying to be more progressive, it's something we've known that Spanish is a gendered language, your O's and your A's. So basically, instead of Latinos, which is connotative of masculinity for the most part, it's Latinx. So a lot of people use Latino, but you can also use Latina. And instead of doing his or hers, essentially, you want a gender non-conforming background. So then you can have that for people that identify as gender non-conforming or as different things that aren't encompassed within
the O and the A.
Yes, basically non-binary. So Latinx is a lot more modern, progressive, and inclusive to people that might not identify with femininity or masculinity specifically.
I see.
Which is perfect for what we're going to be talking about later.
Yeah, it is.
It's definitely a hard concept for some people to swallow. A lot of really traditional people are not into it. And I think it's telling of where we are educationally a lot of times and how traditional our culture is. But I think it's really beautiful, and I think it's something to embrace.
So I was watching this video. Oh my gosh, what is his name? It's not Pedro Pascal. It's someone else. He was in the reboot of Dallas, and I can't think of his name right now. And so I was watching the video, and it was him. It was, oh my gosh.
Oh, it's the girl from One Day at a Time. It's the kids from, Netflix, that Netflix roundtable. And they were talking about the.
And I thought that made a great point because this is very true. And so, like, I will admit that I'm someone that I know that not everyone's going to fit into the gender stereotype, but I've always said this. I love this about Spanish is that we have genders for everything because to me, like, it makes sense, but Spanish is also my first language. So I get frustrated in English because I'm like, is this male or female? I can't tell. And so I know that we're culturally, like, we're switching.
Right.
But to me, like, there's my little type A personality, my little analytical brain likes the structure.
Right.
And so I remember watching this video, and it was like, well, the question began about, like, how can we even pick a term when we're disagreeing on the term to pick? And I'm like, that is a very valid point. And yes, it also comes from, like, the education and reminds us, like, we need to be patient because in the work that I do, I have a lot of parents that are resistant to what their child is going through. At least it was in private practice. And so it's kind of like reminding these parents that, like, you may not agree with it, but this is what your kid is going through, and so therefore, like, there needs to be some respect about it.
Still needs to be validated.
Right.
I think at the end of the day,
validation does not mean agreement.
Right. I think ultimately at the end of whatever the argument may be, I think as long as it's welcomed in it doesn't even have to be welcome, but just met with the respect.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's where a lot of the need for this inclusivity kind of sprouts from. Just the simple fact that it doesn't mean that you have to change your entire way of being. It just means that people that don't fit into what you have been so accustomed to need a little bit of respect.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And I'm there with you 100%.
Yeah. So Rafa, what were you doing before you met Eva? Like, what was going on in your life?
Oh man, that's such a deep
school?
Is this Eva's evil laugh? I don't know.
It is.
There are many.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I was at the Cultural Center at Oak Cliff Cultural Center. I've been there since 2011. Before that, I was a loan officer, a banker with Bank of America.
Woo.
Terrible.
Uh-oh.
No, but I've been an arts person all my life. So I went to school for theater. I've been in a drama club since I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Are you still in a drama club now?
Were you in some plays?
I was. Yes. So I've done some plays. I think I just recently did a play with Prism Movement Theater, which is a lot of fun. That's the one thing that, if anything, in terms of my schedule, that I don't get to do enough of is like really go into the theater world. Which is ultimately my passion. But I've been doing theater. I did a little bit of music, and always been the creative type, but held down jobs here and there. And then,
if you're a kid, when you were a kid, were you like that theater person, that kid that always wanted to perform and sing? And
so I was that one. So I had 3 brothers growing up.
Are you the youngest?
No, so I have one younger, and I had 2 older. I have 1 older now, but I was the one that they were always looking at very strange because I didn't want to go to soccer practice, or I didn't want to join the basketball team. I was in the theater club, or I was performing in a play, or something like that. And since I think my first time doing theater, I was in the 1st grade. And we did I think it was like The Lion and the Mouse, and I had so much fun. And I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna stop doing this.
Yeah. It's a great way to be creative.
You are creative too, Zorric.
Well, in a raunchy way.
You do improv, dude.
Anyways, so yeah, there's a lot of opportunity here in Dallas. There
is.
We've had a lot of people on the show that are trying to be actors and do commercials. I mean, you have Dallas Comedy House. You have all these places you can do stand-up. Do you do comedy or anything, or just more theater?
It's more theater. I think comedy is really difficult to do, but I do have a lot of fun. The last thing I did was it was a mime. It was a play about 2 mimes, and so it was really funny, and I had a lot of fun doing it. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff. I mean, there's
he does
Dallas
comedy.
Yeah.
Mine's creep me out. I won't deny that. Like,
You would've
anytime
had
I go to
fun.
Paris,
It's a
I'm
funny
like,
thing.
ugh.
So we're bringing this show back in March of 2019. I will treat both of you
Please.
front
Are you gonna
row
be
to the
in it
show.
again?
Yes.
Why didn't I know this?
Oh,
Because this is
sorry.
breaking news on the Dane
Where's the sound
podcast.
effect?
I don't have anything for that. Theater guys get females or males.
That's, what's funny? This comes up a lot. So being a straight guy in theater is fairly rare.
It is true.
But yes, you're correct.
Yeah. So how's your dating been since I mean,
Terrible.
terrible? Are you on any apps or?
I don't do apps.
Why?
So
I hate asking why.
No,
It's
no,
not
no.
a therapeutic question, but I'm not a therapist right now, so I can ask it.
I'm more than happy to answer. I don't make myself available for dating.
Is that just not a priority right now, or is that?
I don't know that it's not a priority right now, and I don't know that it'll be a priority anytime soon.
When you're 60, it might be a priority.
I mean, when
I'm
I
constantly
maybe.
swiping. I have 3 apps on rotation.
I've been swiping this whole
I
time.
think. I mean, I feel like I'm a romantic, but I've lost faith in the idea of, whatever someone else's, whoever is destined to be my partner or whatever. I don't know that I have a clear understanding of what that is supposed to be, whether it's a soulmate or a girlfriend or a wife or a partner or whatever.
Do you feel like maybe how much we depend on technology has changed that for you in any way?
Yes.
Okay. How so?
I mean, because I feel, and I try to revisit the human connection often, and I'm not as tech, or I don't want to say tech savvy because I am, but I'm not as like tech involved as where I feel like the majority of our society is. So, and I made a promise. I told Eva and Pat, starting this year, I was like, I'm going to be more social media involved and I'm going to start posting more and all this stuff. And I haven't.
You have a little more than last year.
A little more than last
So
year.
you
I'll give you some
did
credit.
technically fulfill
I did.
that promise.
I did. But the idea is, you know, like I've been detached in the sense of like how my human interaction would probably develop without it.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm more online. I'm more on my emails. I'm more on, like, I get offended if somebody calls me. I'm like, this could have been
How
a text
dare
message.
you?
Yes, I'm like, this could have been a text message. I'm driving.
I start all my phone calls to him like, I'm so sorry. I know I'm calling you.
That
but,
is true. Just and Eva gets it. She's like, okay, just really quickly. Yeah, okay.
Zorric
okay.
and I have a minimum of 30-minute conversations.
Yeah, I'm getting.
And I
up
think
there.
that's important. Like, I admire that. There are so many things that I admire, but I feel like I'm not built for.
All right.
And-
Well, you're
and-
my friend now, so things are gonna happen. I'm gonna
Cool.
start.
I'm gonna start
exposing
getting
you
those
to
phone.
things.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
Rafa,
you.
are you dating somebody, or are you?
I'm not.
You're not.
I'm not.
Ooh.
Emma is
I'm
single.
not. Yep.
Ooh.
So.
I hate you so much.
Are you
I'm
embarrassed right
gonna
now?
get you later.
Are you?
No, I'm gonna
Are you
get
embarrassed, Rafa? I'm
later.
sorry if I didn't.
No.
Is
You're
the
good.
wine
You're
bottle
good.
here? Did you use it?
I told him that every single time, so like I can't like throw my wine at him, right? Because that's
Yeah.
something that I would do.
How
But
about you guys go on a date right now?
shut up. I
Yeah.
will throw glitter
Where
at
did
him
we get this
from now
R&B?
on. Please don't. Please stop.
Zorric,
Stop
I'm
right
gonna
now.
bring my Do you come here often?
Wait. What would be a pickup if you saw Emma at a
Oh
bar?
my god.
Oh God! You know what? That's one of the things
talk about that.
we've talked about this.
Zorric, I'm gonna hurt you in your sleep. I
Just
want
go
you
with
to
it,
know.
okay, Emma?
What
Go
are you,
with it.
What are you drinking?
Come on.
I'm just drinking a Malbec.
Oh, Malbec.
Please stop. That is not you.
It's not.
Not you at all.
I'm gonna get you later, and I'm gonna get you so good.
I cannot
you're
breathe.
not even gonna expect it.
Okay.
I'm gonna hurt you later,
Aw.
and I don't.
She's like, I'm gonna get you.
I'm not into violence. I will get you back later.
Yikes! That
Anyways.
was very Cersei.
Thank you.
Anyways, let's go to Eva right now. Because we
Yes.
haven't talked to her in like a
No.
long time. What were you doing before the podcast? Same question.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I had essentially just graduated from college.
Where?
At
Undergrad?
University of North Texas.
Cool.
Yeah,
Ooh.
undergrad. So I had been doing radio, TV, film. I always knew I wanted to do media or something in entertainment. Art had always been kind of my outlet growing up, and I really have been big on representation and, again, politics and just changing the world's dynamic in view of people like me. So I initially wanted to move to New York, and then I was like, I need to take my work and my passion back home because it's not happening there either, instead of moving far away. So I basically was like, I'm going to move back to my mom's and figure my life out. And then mental health and all those other things kind of happen. Life happens and it takes a whirlwind. But luckily I had met Rafa and Gerardo at the Cultural Center, and they were really, really supportive. So he's very humble in his telling of the story. But for me, it became a place of support, and they really believed in me right off the bat. And so it was really nice when I was at a really low place to hear these people constantly saying, do this,
I'm getting
do this,
emotional
do
just
this.
listening to you right now.
and it was just like, okay, these people really want me to do this, even though I'm a perfectionist, so I don't get started soon at all. So I was doing different freelance gigs. I work, like in media. So I was doing PA work and photography work and marketing work and social media work, just because I can dabble in all of that. And then after with that email happened, it kind of just boom, boom, boom. We just jumped into it. So
Rafa started the fire.
I mean, the fire was definitely ignited by all of us, I would say. I can't give him the full credit. No, but he definitely gave us that final, yes, I'm in, let's do it, which is definitely necessary. in any kind of project.
Yeah.
So after that, it was like, cool, I got all these ideas and you got these ideas and let's roll. And we just jumped into it. And I think almost the same day, we started designing the logo and designing this and designing that. And it was honestly kind of beautiful how it just happened. And then we put it out into the world and people received it.
Yeah. Can I tell you all a funny story about the podcast? So in the summer, so I celebrate my birthdays. Like, I'm notorious for my birthday.
It's like a month, guys.
My mom
okay.
too.
I thought you were going to say notorious for not celebrating.
No.
That's you.
I have the crown.
I'm
I have the attention. I have the birthday. Like,
When's your
the present
birthday?
list, June 14. We'll talk about something later. I think you'll find it funny.
That's what Rafa was aiming at.
to, yes.
I don't know. Okay,
You're
it's okay.
Gemini.
Horoscopes.
Yes,
You
I'm a Gemini.
are-
No, but
you
I gotta tell you
are
something funny that I think
Slytherin.
you're gonna get a
You
laugh.
are
out of.
definitely
You're
a
gonna
Gemini.
love it.
Shut up. Okay.
Thank you, Rafa. I know you don't like. I don't know.
Thank
I know
you.
you don't
Thank
do
you.
that, but okay. I don't know much of it either, but I know enough of my side.
Yeah.
I mean, Ricky Martin wrote a song about me, so it's perfect.
Boom.
Ooh.
Yeah. So on the way, so like we took a family trip to Florida, and we celebrated my birthday in Florida because I wanted to be on the beach. And so on the way back from Florida, because we drove, and I hate road trips with my mom, because I just don't have the patience. I'd rather just fly and get it over with. But this year we decided to take a road trip. And so during the road trip, I was driving, and so I needed something to kind of keep me awake. And you guys had just released an episode. So I was like, let me listen to this episode. And so, but then my grandma was also in the car.
Oh
and
my God,
so-
I'm nervous.
No, it's funny. And so what happened is, as soon as I put it on, like, it was like De Colores Radio, and it was the
beat.
yeah, it was the
Cumbia
and
anthem.
Colombiana. And so my mom's like, so then you started talking, and then my grandma started talking to my mom, and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to listen to this. I'm just gonna play something else. And then so I stopped it and I put something else. My mom was like, no. Yo quiero escuchar esa cumbia colombiana. I was like, no, Mom, it's a podcast. It's not the music. And she's like, get triste.
Aw, you need to give her that track.
Yeah.
Yes. No, she loves it. Like, she loves it.
I
but
mean,
I'm like,
Dusty song,
Yeah.
not just our podcast.
I know, but it was just funny because, she thought I was gonna be like, like pumping
Like
it up in the
dancing.
car, like dancing. Because I usually when we do road trips, like I listen to the Cumbia Kings, like I listen to cumbia
Right.
because
Yeah.
it keeps me awake.
For sure.
And I was like, no, Mom, it's a podcast. I wanna learn about things, and you're not letting me.
Oh,
So
qué
I'm
triste.
gonna change it. I know.
So Eva, where did that music come from? Who chose the intro?
Ooh.
I don't remember. I think we knew initially we wanted a song made.
Yeah.
By Rafa?
Well, no, I was
No.
working with a producer that I had worked with in the past.
I don't know if people know this.
Yeah, they don't.
Only secrets.
And so he's a
I told you.
Grammy-winning engineer, record producer. He
Oh,
works
wow.
with a lot of big names. But we used to record a lot of like underground hip hop back in the day, and so I had reached out to
Aren't
him.
you like a freestyle rapper winner or
I
something?
am champion.
All right.
Yo, turn my headphones up. Yo, let's go.
He's so good with the sound effects.
He is.
I might need to hire
I'm
him
jelly.
Yeah.
I'm jelly.
No, you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
have him. He's mine.
I work for wine, guys.
Boom.
It's
That's
free,
it. We
you
got
know?
we got
That needs to
cases
be
of
my
it.
shirt.
Okay, so you're
I drink
saying
and I know things.
You found you're
That's
working with
actually
them?
my Instagram, my private Twitter name.
Is
but
it?
I'll tell you what I changed it to.
Oh God, I'm
So
scared.
I have a private one and I have a public one.
Nice. Yeah, so I had reached out to him, but he got so slammed. He ended up getting flown out to like LA and then to Atlanta and then somewhere else to be part of like, this music production team. Because a lot of the big name producers now use like teams of producers
Yeah.
to make beats. And so he was a part of this team. And so he just didn't have the time. And I had actually known El Dusty for a while. And I don't know who.
I feel like it was just playing, and we're like, "What about this song?" Like,
Yeah.
because we had already been frustrated with that situation, and so we're like, "Okay, what is it gonna be? It has to be perfect. We want it to be this and this and this," and we knew exactly what we wanted it to be.
I mean, and that just gets you like pumped. Like I
Oh
listen
yeah,
to that and I'm like,
I mean, El Dusty's been, and El Dusty was a cumbia king.
he was,
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, he
man.
was.
yeah,
Yes.
the person who made that song.
Yeah,
Oh.
and so because I'm one of the Faded DJs, and we had worked with El Dusty before. We were playing that, and then I think it was Eva that was like, let's just see if
I was like, ask him.
Yeah, and so like I text him, and he's like super cool, super humble. He was like, yeah, of course, go for it.
That's beautiful.
And so yeah, like that became our anthem.
Nice. It really pumps me up too. I'm like, I can like work on that.
It takes me back to like my like teen days, whenever like all of it, like you were in the cumbia circle and you're just like,
it's a perfect blend of everything we love, which is like cumbias and hip hop and this and that.
Yeah.
And so it's like cool. Ooh,
that like that.
God, I did
like,
that twice. I'm so
it's
sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, that song came on, and like if you weren't on the dance floor, you got on the dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like
you got pulled onto the dance floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Zorric likes to go salsa dancing with me.
I do.
Oh.
I love the salsa.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm
That's awesome.
not the best.
He's not the best.
No.
He will.
I will
aim
try.
for effort. Yeah.
But you have
better
fun.
than none.
But yeah,
That's really
like,
cool.
just
Yeah.
Fill me up with some of this and some wine, and we're fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yeah. So,
right.
so,
So,
Eva,
Eva.
what are your thoughts on like
God.
the whole dating apps topic?
Are you single?
I
yes.
am.
Okay.
I'm very single.
Are you swiping right now, or are you
Currently, no. I
Okay.
got off of apps like a week ago.
a week
Ooh,
ago?
what apps were you
Yes,
on?
yes. Tell us.
Oh, this is the worst.
I'll tell you what apps I'm on if you tell me what you were on.
Okay, so I've tried almost everything. I don't do multiple
Christian
at once.
Mingle?
No.
Farmers only.
Yes, that's my favorite. I found so many zaddies there.
Really?
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
God, no. That's like Trump supporters are us, in my opinion. But sorry, I don't know how political you'll get, but I don't know
We
how.
don't.
Well, actually, we shy away.
I'm
but,
sorry.
you
I'm
know.
sorry, listeners. Maybe I don't know. So I've tried everything. When I was in college, what? Oh my god!
I'm just laughing.
I was like, what did I do? I haven't even started yet. So I started in college. So it was like first, I think it was
You were
OK
also
Cupid.
at UNT. I'm so sorry, Denton, but you guys are like not the best.
At what? At dating? We're not that good at a lot of things, but like, we're
Wait,
not bad.
explain.
Yeah, I'm like,
Like
what are you
anytime
referring?
I got like on apps and Den, I was like swipe right, swipe right, swipe right.
Yeah.
I mean swipe left, swipe
Oh,
left,
I was
swipe
like-
left, swipe left.
Swipe
Nope,
left
nope,
means
nope.
no,
Right, swipe
Correct.
left means no.
and swipe
Newbie.
right means yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. So I first started using them in college, and it was like
She made
because
this
I
face
don't
like she
get a
was
lot of
disgusted.
play in the real world.
Okay.
So like I literally get on apps because that's the only time I get hit on, I guess. And so like I don't like apps. I do not prefer apps. I prefer genuine human connections.
Yeah.
I'm there with y'all 100% because I've said this before. Like, to me, when I get on apps, I'm like, all right, like, this is actually me attempting at doing something that my generation is doing
Right.
because we are not out there. And right now, like, I want to hibernate. It's cold outside.
Yeah.
I don't want to do
This is cuffing season.
This is
Yikes.
cuffing
Yeah.
season.
True.
Yeah.
I
Not
don't like
going well.
cuffing. I like freckling.
What is the
Freckling.
difference? I need to know.
What
So
the
freckling
freck?
means you have like a summer fling, so or like a spring summer fling, and then cuffing means like the fall winter fling. Like you want somebody to cuddle
I've
with you.
never heard freckling.
You
That's-
guys, I mean, like we're like experts on those, you know.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
But we're single. So
Again, like I've always said, we are really good about telling people what to do. We can't do it for ourselves.
yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
So what is like the
All right.
the craziest
Oh,
pickup
God.
line?
How much time do you have?
Oh my gosh. Tell us.
I wish I could.
Ooh,
I
the
should've-
craziest.
I
Pick your
should've
top
left it
three.
Open. I
Pick your
should've
top three.
pulled an app.
I'm gonna chime in because I don't know if she wants me to say this or not,
Which
but I'm gonna
one?
say
Say
it
it,
because I've
say
had
it,
enough
say it,
wine.
say it,
She
say
says
it.
she doesn't get hit on in the
I
real
don't.
world, but one time we were at a restaurant, we were at a bar.
One time.
No, no.
One
and
time.
then we were running back to my car. It was,
That was
Pat,
that was
you,
twice
and
in one day. That's the only time
yeah.
it's ever happened.
So she clearly
Ever
she
in
said
my
once,
life.
and then now she's saying twice. Okay,
but I don't lie.
But it was Peva. I'm trying to
Eva,
I'm trying to get this
Eva.
out. Pat, Eva, and myself, and we're running back to my car, and it's raining, and
That
we
was
ran.
so, I didn't run because I didn't want to get rained on.
Yeah, and so there's like this little covered area next to a funeral home,
Oh no.
and so Eva's
I was
just
looking
sitting
real
there,
cute.
and I was. Emma's just sitting there, and Pat and I are in my car, and we're like, "What is she doing?" And then we see a guy walking up, and I'm like, "Oh shit, something's gonna happen." But the guy looked like he
He's
was like,
fucked up.
yeah, and he was like being weird. And I was like, "Shit!" And I told Pat, I was like, "Hey, Pat, I think."
And I was like,
think Eva's
and
gonna
I
come
started
out."
running to the car.
And then so she
What
goes,
was
and
his
she was.
ride?
It was like slurred. I couldn't understand him. He wasn't sober. He was like, and I was like, ah.
But I remember you were so mad. You were like, "Did I just get fucking hit on outside of a funeral home in the pouring rain by some drunk guy?"
I think, honestly, like, I'm not even trying to bullshit. Like, he makes fun of me, but that was the first time I've ever been hit on, like, in real life. So, like, for me, I was like, that was where my grandma was fucking, like, her visual. What's it? Not visual.
Vigil.
Vigil.
Oh my gosh, your grandma just passed away.
No. It wasn't recent, but I was like, this is what this place connects me to.
Yeah.
But this dude was over here like, hey, no. And I was like, skirt. And so I like ran to the car, and they were like, had just gotten in, and I was like, that guy just hit on me. And they were like, okay. And I was like, that doesn't happen to me. And then that night later at another place, another drunk guy hit on me, and that literally never happened.
What
So
was his
like,
opening? Like, what did he say?
No, he was just across the bar screaming at me. He
What
just
was
kept
he
saying,
screaming?
hey, do you remember
Yeah.
that? And I was like, is he talking to me?
I mean, I feel like he said something else.
And then
though.
he got kicked out of the bar 5 minutes later. And I
Yeah.
was like, you're that fucked up. You got kicked
He was
out of the bar.
he was angry, but he had like he said some. I'm trying to
He
remember.
kept saying
but-
like, hey, come over here.
yeah, or
And
something.
I was like, no, you're drunk and not that exciting to me.
So wait, hold on. So what is your type?
Ay,
Like,
Dios. I don't have a type.
Why wasn't he exciting? Was he not? Like,
He was fucked up. Like, I
Oh.
don't want to go talk to
All
you.
right, so
that's
you want
true.
someone sober. What else do you
Okay.
No, not
What else?
sober.
Someone sober.
I don't need sober, but he was like ugly drunk where he was getting angry.
Oh,
And so I was like,
shit-faced.
I'm not into that. That's
Yeah.
not
Alright, so
cute.
what is your type?
What is your type?
Ay.
Let's-
I will
write
say
this
he
down.
he looked at you when he was getting like dragged out of the bar.
Shut the
Like
hell
he was
up.
longing for Eva. Like I need her in my life.
I don't need you, boo. I don't have time. I'm not in the business of
Don't
fixing
deflect
men.
the question. What is your
Yes.
type?
I really truly like I don't have a type. Like after my last relationship, I was like I would like a decent human being.
So,
Wait a
like, what
second.
are some of those qualities? Because Brian Howie, who hosts a Great Love Debate, was a guest on here, and he told me that women tend to tell men what they don't want, but we don't know what we actually want. And so I joked with him, which is something that I do want, which is not really difficult, that I want someone tall.
Okay.
Okay. I want someone tall. I want someone that can like learn to read my facial expressions, because a lot of times like I won't express what I'm feeling, but like
Right.
my facial says everything. So you got to learn how to do that. Can also get along with my mom and my dad. So like can sit down and watch like a soccer game with my dad,
That's easy.
and can put up with my sister and me arguing over really dumb things.
Okay.
So
I feel like that's not a tall order.
That's not.
I mean,
I
it's a
feel like
tall
a lot of-
order.
Oh, there's more stuff that I won't talk about on the
Rafa says
podcast.
Rafa says that's easy.
Okay,
so-
I mean,
That's
Rafa,
easy
if you're
peasy.
willing,
I got this, I
Rafa,
got this.
like like it's okay. We can talk about it off here.
we need it.
So yes. no, stop it. We're focusing on Eva. You
Okay.
better. I'm gonna mute you.
All right,
I like the music.
all right, Eva. So,
All right, Eva. So what is it that you
what is that type?
want? Because let's put it out in the universe. Because my my psychic told me I gotta start putting stuff in the universe.
You
and
do.
Let's start putting your
yeah,
stuff
that's
in the
how
universe.
Write it down.
I do have a list.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I
ahead.
pretty much okay. So I know that I want someone that's like confident in themselves, because that's a big thing to me, and really like knowing yourself enough to be confident, so you're not deflecting your like
Right.
insecurities on me, because I am very confident. I'm really big. I've learned on just connection and how we vibe. So that's what I've learned now, that's what I really thrive
What is
on.
connection
Yes,
for you?
I was gonna say the same thing. How
For
do you
me,
define
it's
that?
really just being on the same wave with somebody, and like to the point where you don't have to explain yourself, because you get each other like that. And so you really are able just to connect on a beautiful human level, and can have really beautiful in-depth conversations
so, like,
and
connect
support
with,
each
like,
other.
nonverbals and
Yeah,
through your actions.
and beyond. Yeah, absolutely. And just really healthy ways, because there's ways to do that in super unhealthy ways.
Yeah.
But I'm all about like a genuine, healthy connection. And I think from there it can build, and wanting to grow. And I really am attracted to ambition, which is really hard to find.
I mean, Zorric's an entrepreneur. I don't know
Oh
what
I mean,
else to tell you.
obviously.
Is this what this is for?
We're all gonna date.
Oh
That's
my
what's gonna happen.
God. I'm dead.
No,
That's
but
what
if he's
this
gonna
really
throw me
is.
under the bus, I'm gonna throw him under the bus.
You didn't get the exciting music for me. I'm a
No,
little
because
bad.
he doesn't look. I brought my iPad for a month for him to download stuff on it, and he
We're a
never
little bit
did.
classier.
Yes. We're classy. We're classy.
We're going to
No.
New York.
I guess we're just sexual, Rafa.
I guess.
Yeah. This is a sexual music. This is like sex to me.
Is it?
Wow.
No,
I'm
he
worried.
is like ruining the flight of the bumblebees for me.
Every time we talk about masturbation, that's like the song that we play.
I'm sorry.
Masturbation will never be the same.
Oh my God.
I hope this song is stuck in your heads whenever you guys masturbate.
All right, Eva. So that's it, huh? Just connection and
Hold on, let her
and laughs.
breather.
They have to know. So like the question, where are we eating, will never come up just because they will know.
He will know.
He will know.
No, shut up. No, it's something beautiful, and I don't like. I recently realized like I don't want to limit it to just men either. So that's like a new part of myself that I'm like I'm comfortable with that.
Wait a second. Look to this side here.
I can't say anything. I can't.
Oh my.
Oh Jesus Christ! Why is he so good at that?
He's amazing at this.
Amazing.
You know, it's part of the show. Come on. It gives it a third dimension.
You guys,
Anyways.
he seriously won't let me have my own soundboard.
I was gonna ask, where's your soundboard?
But he's so good at it.
But she does some
Other
research.
listeners have asked that too, and he always says he will, and he never does. I left it
see
here
a
for
tear.
him.
I feel
your
for
eye.
you,
Thank
because it's
you.
a different, like it's
I
a
don't
different
have a
side of
soundboard.
Zorric. Like
it is.
like you speak with that soundboard. I mean,
I'm really like upset with him right now. You guys are just like bringing all this resentment up from.
can we just get her like an
Of course,
iPad
Zorric, have a
Mini
therapy
or
session.
something?
I have an iPad, and he won't. Like I downloaded the app for him and everything.
This
This
is a
is
serious issue.
I left it here, and I left it charging and like and everything, you guys. And he was like,
Rafa,
no,
you're just putting
no.
fuel to the fire,
What's-
okay?
He's good at that.
There's not enough channels on the board.
There's not.
That's what it is.
No, there's two that are empty.
No.
All right, so let's go back to Eva.
Okay, Eva.
So cool.
Is that your type? That's it? Like ambitious, connection.
I like them to be emotionally intelligent,
I like that.
Okay, that's
which
good.
is rare as shit to find.
It is really because I gotta say, Eva, like I'm a therapist and a counselor. I hang out with a bunch of counselors and therapists, so there is a difference. Basically, like you can call us a counselor or a therapist depending on our license, and we do counseling or therapy depending on our license. I can call myself both, and I can say I do both because I have 2 licenses.
Woo.
Oh, look at
Because
that.
I'm an overachiever.
So you do both.
Yeah, I
Yes,
do
she
both.
does.
I do counseling
Hello.
and therapy.
I'm over you.
What?
Oh, I didn't realize.
You do.
I said you do both, and Eva said hello.
Oh,
Because
no,
you pointed at me.
I was talking
I
about
pointed
mental
after
health.
that. I know.
I know.
I know.
I like men.
That's the thing though that I've learned now.
Yeah.
Wait, have you kissed a woman before? Like
No, and that's
Okay.
the thing that like it's not just that boxed either. So like my
Right.
friend who's a lesbian was like, even if you have any ounce of a woman like attraction to a woman or connection or whatever you're talking about, it's still considered on that spectrum as opposed to being like 100% hetero. I
Right.
only like dick. Like fully. Oops. I hope that's okay.
that's fine.
That's
like,
fine.
but
Yeah, no,
Emma loves that.
Shut up.
And that's where I always say, because I tell her, I'm like, but I'm mostly hetero. Like, I mostly date men. On the dating apps, I only have
Yeah.
it to men. Like, I'm still mostly there, but I'm not going to, like, pretend that, like, oh, I didn't have feelings. for
Yeah.
someone.
So if Emma kissed Eva right now,
This is getting weird. This is getting
Oh,
weird and fetishy.
maybe that's what
My
I want to
family
see.
members listen to this, please. My family members listen to this.
Oh my god.
Mine too. I mean, they will. for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
So sorry, family
Sorry,
members,
everyone.
for being uncomfortable. I will kick his butt later.
For multiple
after the
things
show.
now.
Yeah.
So Rafa, what's your type? We haven't talked about that.
oh man, I don't.
Names
know if
with
I-
E. You know, starts with E.
Names with E.
Names.
You know, it's funny when
Shut
you
up.
said freckling. Oh gosh, why is her name leaving my head right now?
Jessica.
No, Ygritte from Game of Thrones.
Egret.
Jon
Redhead.
Snow's girlfriend.
Redhead.
Yes,
I don't like her. When she
I
died,
love her.
I was very happy. I
her.
applauded when she
How
died.
dare you, Emma?
I did.
Why would you applaud the death of someone?
Because she deserved to die on the show.
Did she? Oh my- But
She
I
betrayed
thought.
him. I get it. He betrayed her first, but still, she
Right.
annoyed me.
Yeah.
So when you said
You know
freckling, I
nothing,
thought
Jon Snow.
I thought it
Shut up.
meant hooking up with someone that has freckles, and of course I thought of her.
Okay.
No, but I don't know that I have Well, no, I do have a type.
Like blonde, brunette.
Yeah, when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Blonde too, just FYI.
Say what?
I said I look good as a blonde too.
Oh my gosh, where's my music? I'm in.
Oh, come on.
Hey, come here often?
No, I don't. This is my first time.
Oh, she got that nice cute voice too.
I know, and I'm over. Same here.
Gollum.
No, in fairness, like I think my voice is too high pitched, so sometimes I practice like having a lower voice.
Aw.
Okay, what else? What else?
So no, I think what my type is more, I guess, artistic, creative, driven, someone intelligent. Intelligence is a huge thing for me.
So from 1 to 10, how important is sex to you? 1 to 10.
Oh man, in a relationship?
Yeah.
10.
1 to 10, I'd say a 7.
7. So he's probably a
Yeah.
physical touch guy.
Yeah.
What's your love
What are
language?
your love languages? Yep.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna ask you, Eva.
I asked you that, and you
I
didn't
don't-
do it. I don't think.
Oh.
I didn't
Love
think you-
Oh, we're
language.
gonna force you to do it after the
Yeah.
show.
Okay, love. What does that mean?
I don't think physical.
So
touch
there's
is his love
5.
language.
So there's
I'm not touchy feely.
Yeah.
So
he's
there's
not.
gifts,
Oh.
physical touch. There's words of affirmation, acts of service, and quality time.
You're a quality time person, in my opinion.
Say that again.
So gifts.
Like
Physical touch?
graphic interchangeable format.
Not
Gifts.
GIFs.
No, gifts.
Oh,
like,
gosh.
I buy you
I don't know what that is, Zorric.
like presents.
Shit.
Oh, okay.
Presents, words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, and acts of service.
Oh gosh, yeah. It would either be quality time or acts of service. Leaning more towards acts of
Apparently,
service.
I have
That's what I
shallow
thought.
ones.
Yeah, she likes gifts. So
Gifts?
Rafa, you need to buy her some
Which
stuff.
also means
I brought
okay,
you
so
this
my psychic
bottled
told me
water.
my psychic told me that I often like to apologize through my actions or through gifts. And so it was so funny. Sorry, I like choked. So like my
Like a little sheep.
like a little goat. It's like I'm in Wicked all over again. And so,
Were you in it before?
No.
Okay. I was like, do you have?
just let me pretend. I sing to the Wicked soundtrack in my car, so just let me pretend. So what was funny is that my best friend and my sister, when I'm telling that like the psychic told me that I apologize through actions, they both said, "Oh, that's why you buy gifts." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes." So like, but I also I hate saying but. And I also buy gifts because it shows my love to someone, like my niece. It's so bad, you guys. She's 3, about to be 4 in January. But every time she comes over to my house, I always have a gift for her. Like I always have something for her.
Rafa, you have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
Lots
It
of gifts.
came-
I was thinking of Michael Scott from The Office when he says they're great because a gift is like, hey, I like you this many dollars worth.
When he gets the iPod.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're talking too much.
Okay. Do we? Oh my gosh, we're already like almost at an
Yikes.
hour.
All right, so Emma
We
has
have longer.
a topic.
I do have a topic. Let's move on to the topic.
Okay, let's speed through that.
So, this article was from Psychology Today, and a psychotherapist, not a psychotherapist, but a counselor.
Wait, hold on,
therapist
Emma.
wrote
Like,
this.
so we can talk to you guys. It seems like for 5 hours.
Oh my
so
gosh, you
that's,
guys,
That's
yes.
the issue here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways,
So I'm sorry that our episode's going to be a lot longer,
That's
but you know
literally
what?
every one
That's
of our
us.
episodes.
I know.
Yeah.
So the article is called "How Gender Role Stereotypes Are Crippling Our Love Lives," which I think is very true. And so in the past, we have spoken, and which I hate this term, and you guys know how much I hate this term. Zorric knows how much I hate this term. We always talk about like
taint. You hear that term?
we're talking about like
Ouch.
the alpha males and alpha females versus like beta males and beta females. Like
Okay.
I'm not a fan of those. I honestly would rather just be called type A because I like, again, I don't know what it brings up inside me. There's something I need to talk about in therapy. I hate you for that.
That's her sound because she's like a freaking dinosaur. Type A. Go ahead.
I'm a dinosaur? Are you
Look.
calling me old right now?
No,
Are you
I'm
kidding me?
Oh, I thought that was a car.
No, it's a dinosaur.
Someone made dinosaur noises without ever hearing them.
Okay, I hear it.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
like you. Anyways, so a lot of this article is based on like how we're kind of trapped in this whole like idea of like what our gender needs to act like, right? And so honestly, like this is really for heterosexual relationships. Sorry, LGBTQ, because if we're confused as heterosexuals, like, I don't even know, like, what, like, that community.
I
like,
think
what
they
we
have it more
on.
figured out than us in a lot of
ways. I think
ways.
so, too. And, yeah, like, we're kind of just, like, on the crappy end of the stick sometimes. And so, like I said, like, I hate being called an alpha. Like, for me, like, it has a really bad negative connotation. And it can, again, like, this is something I need to work out in therapy, because, like, when we did that episode, I was just, like, cringing the whole time. I was like, I hate this. I hate everything about this. Because that's the reality of thing. And so a lot of, like, it feels like, so the quote that he has is, women, be strong and independent, but for God's sake, don't scare men away, which is honestly, like, what I get. Like, I have a freaking master's degree. I have a freaking career. Like, I am independent, and it's like, be independent and still be dependent on a man, which I'm okay with. Yeah. However, like, don't tell me to do that.
Yeah, it's I don't know what Rafa feels about this, but I was talking to a girl from Bumble the other day, and she said she had 2 master's degrees, and, like, I got a boner right away.
Well, because you have, like, so 3.
But it doesn't matter. but I mean, what do you feel about a woman that's, like, really educated and successful?
I mean, I would agree with you.
Yeah,
I probably would have. Well,
pop.
Yeah,
one.
probably would have. Yeah.
I gotta say, like, you guys are, for me, like, in the spectrum. You guys, like, on the bell curve. You guys are, like, on the lower end of guys that accept this. For me, in my experience, the majority of guys are in the middle where they don't accept it.
And I see that, and I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I would, and I feel like a lot of, when it comes to this realm, I refer back to my family, immediate family, and that is the case. Like, I think that they said, the article mentioned something about renaming, like, the male and female traits to instrumental and expressive. Yeah. And that made sense to me, because it was like, I mean, dealing with your brothers telling you that theater is not something that you should be doing all of your life was something that kind of made me, like, evaluate what it is, what's okay and what isn't, and what am I supposed to conform to. But yeah, I feel like that is a huge deal, and it's a threat. And for what?
Right.
Yeah, and so
hold on, let me finish the quote real quick. So the quote ends with, so women, be strong and independent, but for God's sake, like, don't scare men away. Men, be sensitive, but if you're not an alpha male, you'll always be the second choice.
So what does Eva think about this? Like, what do you
there's a lot to be said. I obviously have a lot of experience because I'm very expressive, and I'm very vocal, and I'm very confident in who I am, and knowing that. So I think I've asked Rafa, like, am I scary? Because I'm always like the fact that I really, like, he jokes with it, but I'm like, on top of that experience we just discussed, I've been hit on, like, 1 more time in real life, and that's happened in the last year. And so that's, like, 3 times. So I'm like, am I scary to people? And I'm like, and that's the fact that they don't even know who I am, or, like, that I was on a newspaper last week. You know what I mean? Like, all these different things. And so that becomes, I think, somewhat intimidating to them.
Right. But I gotta say, like, Team Eva over the rustic. So
oh my God.
Putting it out there. Team Eva. Because I saw it and I laughed. Like, I laugh when I'm uncomfortable. So that's my defense mechanism, is I laugh, and I was like, what? So do your research, people.
Yeah. Go ahead, Emma.
And so, yes. Right? Because it's like, so I think that's why I hate the term, like, alpha female, because it has that negative connotation of, like, we are too strong, we are too independent, like, we don't need anybody, therefore, like, we sort of, like, deserve being on our own. And I think that's crap.
Right.
And so the other thing that really stood out to me was, like, that a lot of times, like, whenever we're, like, getting into relationships, we have, like, this existential choice of either authenticity, so, like, being who we truly are, versus, like, this prepackaged safe persona. So, like, if we're strong women or gentle men, then we are told that we have to forsake our authenticity to be in a relationship, to fit into this box. And I, like, for me, like, I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, I think so. Rafa, what do you think about they say that women like jerks, right? Women like guys that are like strong and that are masculine, but not all of us are like that.
No. Yeah. Here's my thing. So, like, before I let you talk, I'm gonna just say this point. So let's take my dad, for example. Like, my dad, like, he lets my mom run the house. Like, my dad is very, like, vocal about the fact that he's like, yeah, I might be the male and yeah, I might be the dad, but guess who actually runs the house? It's my mom, right? Or it's my wife. So he is very good about, like, knowing that in appearance, he's the one that runs it, but really in the background, it's my mom. And so he always gives her credit for it. And so I grew up with someone like, my dad is someone like, if I'm like, Daddy, I need help, he's like, okay, like, what do you need me to help you with? And so he will help me. And at the same time, it's like, okay, so for next time, this is what you need to do. So it's a very teachable moment,
right?
Because it's like, for him, it's like, I'm not always going to be around. If I'm not around, like, you have to do these things for yourself, or you have to learn how to not get got when you go to a mechanic.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I'm like, when I go to the mechanic, I'm like, well, let me call my dad. And they're like, oh, wait. And I'm like, no, I'm still calling my dad.
Yeah.
And that's the empowering part.
Yeah.
Like, and really being able to, I guess, come to the table with that, and not really looking at it as a bargaining chip, but, you know, the excitement of being able to do things, whether it's understanding, getting to the point of, you know, doing your oil change or having 2 master's degrees. Like, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And if you can't exchange that excitement with somebody else, then there is no point. So it does become a question of whether it's authentic or accommodating.
Right.
And I feel like the majority of what we experience in our society is accommodation. And I think that's why so many, like, a friend of mine told me a long time ago, when it comes to marriage, don't let the title of the role define the kind of husband you're going to be, or the kind of wife that she's going to be to you. And it's true. Like, and that applies to everything, whether it's a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a partner, anything. It's like, the second that we take into consideration what everybody else constructed, what a title means, we start to pedal backwards.
Yeah. Because I've said this for myself, like, I want to be the kind of wife that my husband can come home to, and, like, if I have dinner cooked, I have dinner cooked. I am a clean freak. I like cleaning. Zorric can attest to that. So, like, I will clean, but if he wants to cook one day, I'm like, go for it. I like being cooked for. It doesn't make the man that I end up with, like, lesser of a man because he cooks, because sometimes I don't want to wear my apron, but, like, I'll clean. I'll clean that bathroom. I'll sanitize the crap out of your bathroom.
Yeah,
Monica.
Friends. and like, in my family, it's different. My dad cooked and cleaned, and my mom was a strong one. So I think with gender roles, I feel like there should not be.
Right, no.
What do you think of it?
I mean, I'm always political. It really, to me, becomes a matter of the patriarchy and, like, how that functions culturally as well. So it's different by cultures and how we function within that realm. And then if you are raised by a single mom, that changes that as well, which is my situation, because in that case, I only had that to look up to. And so, like, I always did my own stuff, or me and my sisters mowed the lawn, or we did this, or we took out the trash. We did all of that. So then for me, I'm down for a man to do that. If you're going to do that, great. I love that. But then at the same time, even getting someone to accept who you are as a confident this or that, or running this, or just being whoever you are, is a difficult thing to find, because, again, I like emotional intelligence. I like ambition. And if we're in this patriarchal structure that really does not allow you men to even think of women as equals, it often becomes like an objectification of us. Then how else are you going to look at us besides that, right? You're not going to look at us at an even playing field. And really, I think balance is key, and that's really hard to find.
And I gotta say, like, it doesn't help also that I'm like, if it were up to me, I would be a housewife. Like, I would be a housewife and I would have a private practice. Like, I honestly would. Like, I would still do my counseling in a private practice setting, because for me, I get my value, like, for, like, now, like, I'm the happiest when I'm with my niece. And so for me, like, if I were to have my own kids, like, I want to, like, it's not about, like, wanting to take care of them. It's more about, like, I want to experience those moments with them. And so, like, how can I experience those moments with them if I'm not a stay-at-home mom? right? And so for me, it's like finding that balance of like, yes, I still want to have my career. I would like to do private practice because that is my end goal. And I want to be able to see my child say their first words. I want to see my child take their first steps because that's what's important to me. Because those are the things that I've seen with my like cousins and, you know, like nieces growing up. And so like, that's what I want to continue experiencing.
Right.
Gotcha.
And then whereas for me, I don't think I want to have kids. I adore kids. I work with them. I love them. I think they're everything. But my passion is my work and changing the world through my work and making it better and better while we're still here. Yeah. And so for me and my long end goal, that's not it. If it happens eventually, great, beautiful, wonderful. But even saying that to dudes like, oh, I don't want kids and I'm not that into marriage, they're like, oh.
Yeah, that's scary.
Are you okay? And I'm like,
and that's the problem. Like, there's no reason that those goals shouldn't be valid.
Right.
But in a hyper-masculine like America, it's met with that reluctance of
I gotta say, like, even though for me, I'm Salvadorian and it's still very hyper masculine, like Salvadorian.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's not exclusive to America.
Yeah,
it's not exclusive to this country. But I'm saying that, like, here, because this is where we're at.
True.
And culturally, like, yeah, it's something global.
For sure.
But in a hyper masculine setting that we're in this particular country, it's one of those things that has to be fought with so much. Like, there's so much behind it, and it's so charged that it's ridiculous when you look at it in perspective and think, is this really what the problem is?
Yeah, because I think that there's like space for like my idea of what I want in the future, and for your Eva's idea of what you want in the future.
And understanding how dynamic and complex women are.
Right.
Outside of the stereotypical norms of like emotional and mothers and this and this. And I'm like, we can be all that and more, or we can be none of that.
Right.
And whoever we want to be.
And I mean, I got into the field that I'm in because I want to impact other people's lives.
Right.
And I also want to have my own kids.
Right.
You know? And so like, you know, we both value the same things
in different ways.
Exactly.
And that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah. I love it. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm like so touched right now.
So speaking of gender roles, Emma and Eva, so who pays for the first date bill?
I think we're still under the patriarchy, so please pay for my shit.
No, I say yes, men pay.
Yeah,
at
men
the beginning.
pay.
Yeah.
Men pay.
Cool. Rafa,
sure.
No, like yeah.
Also the wage gap, like come on. We have every reason for y'all to pay for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
I'm you guys like no. Even if we're
very
equal
first
pay,
one.
no,
Just the first one?
No,
or?
I'm saying like at minimum.
Yeah.
That one. But like when I was in a relationship, I was like, fam, I got this one. I'm not going to make your
That's
ass
different.
go broke.
Yeah.
No, in this past relationship I was in, I think I've said this before, maybe like 2 meals I paid for.
Watch that,
in the
Rafa.
past year and a half.
than that.
Sorry, Rafa.
Well, in the past, historically, I've always paid.
There you go.
I mean,
but-
match
Because
made
you're a
in heaven.
Texan. You're a
But-
Southern guy. That's how we are.
Southern guy.
Yep.
But and so I think that if I was ever, like, I guess in too deep, it wouldn't be beyond me to say, hey, I can't cover this time.
Yeah.
Again,
If I wasn't able to, not saying that
Right.
I wouldn't bend over backwards to try to make sure that I was at least able to, you know.
Again, Rafa, if we were to date, I'm just saying that gifts is one of my love languages. And so for me, like, paying for dinner is like a gift. Just putting it
Nifty
out there.
gifty.
Yeah. So, but everyone, it's okay for a man to be emotional.
Absolutely.
It's okay for us to be.
I
joke that
appreciate
it's
it.
a turn on for me because it's so rare that when a guy's emotional, I'm like, ooh, I'm into it.
Yeah.
Express yourself.
You know, I go see war movies on purpose so I can see men cry.
Oh, God.
Oh, my
See,
gosh.
that is not something I've thought of, but it makes sense.
I think you and I should go see war movies together.
I cry very easily.
Yeah.
I do too, Eva. I do too.
So, Emma, continue on with the article.
So the other parts is kind of like, so it talks about, so they give an example about, where's my example? I hate
two
reading.
scenarios, right?
Yeah, they give 2 scenarios where basically like Susan, damn it,
Love
Susan,
her.
is a very successful executive, and she's going on a second date with Jim.
That's so hot. Successful executive.
And so she just like got the biggest deal of her career, and she's like so excited and wants to share it with Jim. And so then she remembers like dating advice, like don't be too strong, like you can't be like independent, right? Because on a date, like we're told we have to be a little bit more submissive. And so and so she softens up with her talking about it. And so she doesn't share about her success. And so in the example, it's kind of like Jim is trying to be like more dominant and male, and Susan's like not being her like power of herself. And so like the date doesn't go well because of that. Which is I gotta say, like, I relate a lot to Susan because that's happened to me before.
Yeah, because you're very strong, Emma. And
I appreciate being called type A.
Yeah, and it also says that when faced with the choice of between gender conformity and authentic expression, strive for authenticity. Right? Why be who you're not?
Part of me, like, I love listening to people, and I also like judging people and telling them what to do because this is what I do with my family members. But when I'm on dates, like, I get out of the therapist mode, and I'm just like, this is me. Like, I'm gonna let you talk, and I'm not gonna talk about myself because I'm always so worried that they're gonna be like, that they're gonna be judging me for what I'm saying, or it's easier for me to just let the other person talk instead of me talking because I just don't want them to be like, are you judging me? Which happens all the time too. Are you judging me? Are you analyzing what I'm saying? No, you're not paying me. Shut up.
No. Okay, so Rafa,
Yes.
what do you feel about all of this? Like, what's your bottom line with the whole gender conformity versus being authentic? Like, how do you feel about it?
I mean, there's so much, but I think being authentic shouldn't be that big of a problem. And if it is, I think a reevaluation, like a look in the mirror, is due. The same with gender roles. Like, I joke with Eva and Pat all the time that, man, they only make, cool houndstooth pattern clothing for women. Why don't they make enough of that stuff for men? But
that's a coffee shop, right?
Oh my god!
But
right?
It is a coffee shop.
What's houndstooth?
It's a print. It's a pattern.
It's a pattern.
Oh, okay.
And so it's
you know it. It's like very
you do.
brand.
It's not Chevron.
No.
No,
You'll know.
but it's,
Look it up.
yeah.
You know it.
But so just to use that as an example, like when it comes to gender roles, this idea is so embedded into how we think and how we speak and how we communicate that we misunderstand like what it means to be authentic with ourselves. And so, understanding the authenticity component of dating and gender roles, like those things go hand in hand, obviously, but, and then relating that to our community, like, the whole idea of Latinx and identifying with who you are as a person, there's room for all of it. And the second you think that something is threatening your, existence or validity or right to be whoever you want to be is disrespectful. And so there's no room for that.
Unless, my therapy hat, just real quick, unless it's interfering with the relationship that you're in. So, like, if this is, like, so if my type A is interfering too much because I want everything so neat and organized with the relationship that I'm in that I can't let my future husband or partner, boyfriend, to like be who they are, I think that's when it needs to be worked on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. No. That's what I mean.
Never
Okay, cool.
And so that's where the idea of that respect comes into play. Because if someone is able to respect something, that means that they understand it to a degree where it's not a finite, like it's not one of those make or break kind of things. Like this is it. You know what I mean? I'll be a different person in 6 months, a year, 2 years.
A big component that I hear a lot, and I'm sure you've heard it, which is like, oh, I'll date this guy because I can change this about him. And I'm like, no. When you meet somebody, you accept them as they are. And if that's who you want to be with and that works for you and that's healthy for you, go for it. But I'm never going to jump into anything.
No.
Ever that it's like, oh, I can fix that, because that's who you are. And if you want to change yourself as a person for the better internally because you want to, beautiful, great, I support you. But I'm not going into something thinking I can change you. I'm going into something saying I accept this person as they are, and if we grow together, beautiful.
God, no, I've seen that too
That's
many times on the couch in front of me, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, or they're like, it'll get better when we get married. No, girl.
No, it'll get better when we have kids. No, it's not. It's gonna get worse, girl. You're gonna give me a call
have a kid
again.
to save the relationship.
That's the worst thing you could do.
So sad.
Which is why I'm so childless.
with good reason.
We'll find you a man, Rafa.
Hey, come here often.
I can't. I've never heard you hit on anything.
What is that?
Oh my god.
What is that?
Is that a Cabernet?
I can't. I'm like, what is that? Are you talking about a bug on the street or?
Is it easier for you to hit on Zorric right now?
Is it?
I mean, I'll take it too. That's fine, you know.
Are those crackers, Zorric?
Yes.
Oh,
Would you
cool.
like me to chew one slowly?
Ew.
Zorric is good. Zorric knows how to do this.
What the
Yeah.
heck? Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
You were right.
the
He is
heck?
good at improv.
Yeah, I can
heck?
definitely.
What the heck?
Improv.
Yeah. All
He
right.
did improv.
Yeah.
Oh,
sometimes,
cool.
Sometimes.
Where, at Dallas Comedy House?
Yeah, DCA.
Oh,
We've
nice.
had his
Yeah.
troupe before.
We
Yeah.
had what?
His troupe.
We have a
before.
troop.
Ah,
that
so cool.
we like
I
do a story and
What's the the name of the founder, or one of the?
her name is Amanda Austin.
Yes,
Yes.
I met her several years ago.
Okay.
When she was first establishing Dallas Comedy House. But that's really cool. I've had a lot of friends that kind of go through
Yeah,
there.
it's pretty fun.
The tables have turned. I
The
appreciate
table
those.
has, yeah.
Yeah.
What's that finger pointing?
Because you started
how
asking me a
the
question.
how the turntables have
How the
turned.
turntables.
I love it the way you turned that table.
No, you just ruined the office space. Stop it.
Wait, I'm trying to get like what Eva thinks about the whole gender thing. Like, what's your bottom line here?
Oh Jesus. So what do I feel about gender roles in dating?
Yeah.
I think people, like, especially if you identify as a feminist, people are like, oh, you don't shave your arms and you, like.
Is that
they
true?
Just, yes. I mean, no. What? So they just, like, assume stereotypes,
Okay,
right? And
yeah.
I think the beauty of complexity is that, like, everything's going to be different for everyone. And we have to accept and celebrate those differences and
Yeah.
find that balance in a relationship. Because if a man loves doing the dishes, do the damn dishes.
What if he does it naked? Is that fine?
I guess if I'm comfortable with him, he's
if
probably
I'm
going to
attracted
get...
to it,
I
then
mean,
yes.
So you
I'm
don't
not-
get your clothes dirty. I'm with
that's-
it.
you
Yeah.
know, why not?
Right, but there's also, like, those norms of, like, I'm really damn good with kids, and I know that about myself. I'm really good at cooking, and I know that about myself. Am I doing it because it's my role as a woman? No, I'm doing it because I'm hungry, and we're going to
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
And so, like, obviously, I'm a person that likes to take care of everybody around me. So if I have enough, I'm going to feed everybody.
Acts
And,
of
like,
service, number
Yeah.
one.
Oh, my God. If I, like, serve people...
Wait, what were your love languages?
Mine used to be acts of service #1. It's now #2. My first one is quality time.
Ooh. They
Yeah.
do change over time. I have top 3
Okay.
because I'm a weirdo.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's not.
And
but-
wine is not one of the love languages.
No.
Food, right?
Damn it.
Food.
Drats.
Yeah.
Trans, what?
I should make them my love language,
Oh my
right?
God.
Like
Okay.
food and wine.
Okay.
Anyways, I think things will
I love
naturally...
Pinot.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Pinot Noir.
Oh, I thought you said penis.
And I was like,
No,
oh,
that's not what I said.
retweet.
Retweet. I've had too much.
You have. It's okay. It's who you are. Oh,
need to
look at
finish-
you. Oh,
That
my
wasn't
God.
me, that's me,
that wasn't me.
You like, we
Oh.
still have that decanter to finish. Just
Yeah.
letting you
We need
know.
to finish this.
I didn't know
was
this was
very
called a
excited.
decanter. It looks like Jesus' chalice is what I call it.
No, it's a decanter. It opens up the red wine.
The body and blood of Christ. There's your body. Oh my God.
Hey,
It's so 'cause
hey,
it's
here it is.
Catholic Church right now.
Yes, I'm feeling a lot of guilt right now.
Anyways.
It's okay. I'll go to confessional
What else do you
tomorrow.
have?
Gender roles, a lot of those things. Speaking of the church, a lot of that dates back to
That's
religion.
true. When we talk, honestly, I'm
Really,
going to
truly.
chime in really quickly when we talk about dating. And so historically, I have never, well, one time, but outside of that, I have never asked a girl out. I've never in my
Pimp?
Am I gonna have to ask
No,
you
no, no, no.
out? I don't know if I can do that.
no, but I think a lot of that has to do with the Catholic guilt. So I went to church.
Wait, hold on. Can you ask him out real quick, Emma?
Oh, hey, what's going on here?
Emma, ask him
No.
out. Okay, sorry, Rafa. Go ahead. Catholic
But I
church.
grew up, so I was at church every Sunday. I went to Sunday school. In college, I was a Sunday school teacher. I was super involved with the Catholic Church. And so I think that, along with a very tight-knit and conservative Mexican family upbringing, really taught me or really steered my idea towards dating to like, you need to not do it. kind of ideal.
Oh.
I mean, there's a lot of deep things, even with sexuality. I can say Catholic guilt stumped me for a long time because I was so afraid. There's so many things to talk about.
And I'm first generation. I think being first generation has a lot to do with that too. Because
it's the hardest.
Yes, because being in a new country and trying to adapt or conform to a new society with that reluctance of being an American, but
also
the idea
being
of
like Salvadorian or Mexican for you.
right, yeah. So it's like it's one of those things where it's like we're not in the mother country anymore, and we need to play it safe. But I've said this to Eva and Pat before. It's like my mom has told me, you need to be very careful about the things that you say or do because as a man, you will always lose in this country. And she was saying that to me as a young Mexican American. And that hit me on so many different levels, combined with the Catholicism that I grew up with. And obviously that trickled down into dating. So yeah, I never asked, except that one person who turned me down.
And it scared you for life.
Yeah, who cares?
Did it scare you for life?
Yeah.
It did. But yeah, it was one of those things where it's like, you look at the norms and the roles and it's like, it's terrifying.
So what do you guys think about sex? Is that something?
Just FYI, just a little caveat. I haven't done it because in the realm that I do now, I don't have to do the training anymore. But I was training to be a sex therapist, and
I'm into that.
I really wanted to focus on the religious community, so I wanted to focus on being a sex therapist with all the faiths because of what you're speaking about, and
that's fascinating.
we can talk about more of that off
here. So when do you guys think sex is appropriate? A few dates, marriage? I mean, what are your thoughts?
When you're comfortable enough with someone to talk about it and be like, hey, let's do this. And not in that particular exchange of words, but however you find yourself comfortable with that person to say, this is one of the things that I feel like I would enjoy, and if you would enjoy, let's do it.
Is it really?
Eva?
Or does it?
Eva has a grin on her face.
Because ideally, that's great and beautiful. But if you aren't dating and you just want that action, you gonna go about that action,
girl.
So that's where it's that's beautiful, that's great.
But I mean, that's still a form of what I'm saying,
right? And that's the thing, that it's if you're looking to date someone and you're going on a date, I would try to wait, because if I guess that's the approach I take. If I think it's gonna be more than just sex, then I'm like, okay, let's try to hold off so that it can build more and it becomes something. And
so it's delayed gratification, not instant gratification.
But I'm also very impatient. So it's not that many in for me.
I'm going to put 2 marshmallows in front. I'm going to put a marshmallow in front of you, and then I'm going to do the marshmallow experiment.
What's that?
Oh, I'll tell you about it. Oh, so basically
wow.
Do I eat them?
No. So basically what they did is so I have delayed gratification. I'm really amazing at it.
Oh, I see.
And so what they do is they put a marshmallow in front of these little kids. What was that for? Oh, yeah. So they put these marshmallows in front of the kids, and they were told, if you wait 5 minutes and you don't eat them one marshmallow, we'll give you 2 marshmallows at the end of it. And so I'm the type of person that will wait the 5 minutes to get 2 marshmallows. Apparently, Rafa is the kind of person that will eat the 1 marshmallow and then feel guilty about it.
No, I'll wait.
You'll wait.
That's the thing.
Okay, so that is delayed gratification.
Right.
Zorric, are you the 1 marshmallow or 2 marshmallow? 1 marshmallow. Yep.
Yeah,
but see, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. So if you're a 1 marshmallow person and you're with a 1 marshmallow person, there's no reason that is.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're setting yourself up for 1 marshmallow and you're come over and it's 3 a.m., it's about that 1 marshmallow.
Yeah, it's going
It ain't
down.
about a 2 marshmallow.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Mommy,
you're gonna
how'd
call
you
me
meet
at 3 a.m.,
Daddy?
One
I'm gonna be like,
marshmallow.
no.
So we had Brian Howie on the show.
Brian Howie, I love you and miss you.
Rafa, I have a question for you. So
Yes.
it's hashtag 2018, and he was saying that it's harder to make a move in this day and age because of all the things that have been happening. And
With the Me Too movement.
with the Me Too movement.
Okay.
And a lot of people.
Annoying.
What do you think about it? Do you still make moves, or I mean, how do you deal with that?
Again, understanding that I'm not a person that makes the move, I feel like if I was in that arena, I would be more confident now to make a move than ever before in my life. Because I understand, my understanding of the Me Too movement and then everything that's happened is that these things have been going on for a really long time and they're just now coming to light. And so if you're a fucking asshole, you're a fucking asshole and you deserve to like rot in hell for it. Mm-hmm. But if you're like straight up and honest and authentic, and whether you're about, you know, that instant gratification or really looking to establish like a long-term whatever with somebody, there's no reason why if you're the kind of person that wants to voice that with someone, go for it. And if you don't mean no disrespect, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and it's about consent too, right? So what's consent to you, Eva? Like, how do you know?
I think, and some people are very verbal in that, and they don't, they want that. They want to be able to state that. I feel like if enough cues are given besides just verbal, then you can read the energy.
What does that mean? Oh, energy. Okay,
right,
go ahead.
because the thing is, like I said prior, if you only see women as an object and you're only seeing them to have sex with them, and that's all you want from them, you're going to be a predator, essentially. You're going to be kind of prying on that person in that way. However, if you're genuinely respecting them and want to respect their space, which is what consent is made up of to me, then you understand that, like, is this okay works, and just quick questions like that, and really seeing if they're opening up to you more and interested and involved with it more, they're obviously a little more interested. The safest bet is to ask. You can ask, but don't make it weird, because it can get weird real fast. And so I see how it's seen as a difficult thing to maneuver, but if you're a respectable human being who has been trusting and honest and full of good intentions from the start, it shouldn't be that difficult for you. And that's what's frustrating to me, because in the society we live in, I'm like, are that many men horrible to women that they think that's hard to be able to read someone's energy to see if they're into something and not just focus on their own selfish pleasure?
Yeah.
So one of my good like colleagues, his name is Doug Braun Harvey.
I was like, that is so fascinating.
Where my dog's at?
Hey, dog.
No, it's Doug Braun Harvey, and he is a marriage and family therapist like me, and he's out in California. And so he works a lot with like sexual behaviors. So he in theory, he works with people who like, so like it's mostly like males who are like, I have an addiction to porn. So he calls it out of control sexual behavior, because a lot of times with these men are caught watching porn by their wives, which for me, I'm like, if I'm dating someone and they're watching porn, I'm like, great, go ahead and masturbate, because that means less work for me. Like, I'm okay with that. Again, this is also coming from a sex therapy mentality, right? Where I don't care if you watch porn. For me, porn is like, cool, great, Arab man.
Right.
You know,
but for
you got to
other
do what you got to do.
It would be like,
it is
am
almost
I not
like
enough
cheating.
for you?
Yes. And then that comes from something else. So anyways, so Doug Braun Harvey, he is the person who basically like trained me in sexual health, and he has the 5 C's, and one of them is consent, non-coercion, non-discrimination, congruent, and safety. And a lot of it is like asking for consent. And so one of the things that he always says is like, sometimes you have to have that uncomfortable conversation with someone, and it's kind of like, do you want to have sex? Do you want to give me oral? Do you want to receive oral? And so he does he does it a lot better
sexy,
than I do.
though. Like,
I know, but he
it's
does
not.
it.
Do you want my thumb in your butt?
Yes. Please.
No, thank you.
Do you have
No,
KY
thank you.
jelly?
But also, you have to be able to read the person too. Like, that's a big part of sex to me.
Right.
Like, are they enjoying this?
Yes.
Are they not? Are they tightening up? Are they relaxed?
Like
are
in
they?
the butthole.
And so I gotta say, like, we're having an episode on vaginismus, and it's like soon. And so this is like that. If you don't know what vaginismus is, it's basically like when a female is having sex and like it's coitus, so it has to be with a male, and there's penetration
or
happening.
some kind of object.
True.
Cucumber.
So anytime there's a penetration,
Spiky
like
cactus.
the vagina,
Ooh, sexy.
Shut up,
the
Pat.
vagina muscles like tighten up and make that uncomfortable and unpleasurable. So we're as females, we're no longer receiving pleasure or like comfort from that, because it's like hurting something in our muscles.
Right,
and
which is why when sexual abuse happens, they can tell from the bruising.
Right. And so we're going to have someone on the show later.
The psychology of that. I mean,
There is.
Yes, there
even
is
when you think
psychology.
about
It's
it,
on the DSM.
there's an intrusion happening. Like the basics of it.
Right.
You are intruding into a space.
Which is why it's so essential to listen to women about these things, because we know our bodies, and like men are like, where's the clit? And it's like, bro, it's 2018. You don't know where the clit is yet?
Dude, let me show you where it is. I'll tell you exactly where you need to go.
It's just, and
Toby, where's the clitoris?
oh god.
In my job, it is oftentimes I have to give these conversations to people.
I love it.
I'm sorry. I'm an office
You're
wizard.
like speaking my language right
Oh,
now.
that's her love language, Rafa. Uh-oh.
Do you watch this often?
Ew.
My sister and I quote The Office to each other all the time.
Is this our classy music or no? Where's the bumblebees?
Yeah.
That's
That's only when we talk about masturbation, okay, guys?
I thought we were getting close.
I think this is going to be like a 2-hour episode, so sorry, guys.
Guys, this is
Goodness.
the longest
That's
episode we've
our
done.
toxic behavior. We make everybody
Goodness,
go
so
long.
sorry.
Ding.
That's what she said. That's what she said. I love that. I need to know the story of like when that happened, because all of a sudden like the ding happened and I was like, where did this happen?
I think it was just like on the show because we wanted to say that's what she said, but we were trying to not be super inappropriate.
Yeah.
Oh no, we say it all the time.
I don't
And
know
I had
which
been
episode
I had
it
been dinging
originated.
for a while before Decolotes, but it had stopped because I had run out of people to be inappropriate with.
We're back.
Do you want to hear something funny? At church, anytime. No, hold on.
I love that intro.
It's not over. At church, and it was not a Catholic church. Anytime we said anything that could be that's what she said, we would snap.
Everybody in church?
Wow.
Everybody
That's
in my
my kind of
group.
church. I would be like, yes, Jesus.
Next Sunday, Holy Trinity Catholic Church.
No,
I
this was
will
when
be
I was like in
snapping.
high school, you
I'm
guys.
horrible. I was about to say, never mind.
All right. Do
All
we
right.
have a game to play?
Yes. So Emma, what are your last words for this article?
My last
Real
words
quick.
are, I hate being called an alpha female because I don't think that's really what I am.
Mm-hmm.
However, I grew up in this house where like my grandma was basically a single mom, but my mom wasn't. And so like finding that balance between like I have like my dad and I are, I'm sorry, Edith, but I think I might be his favorite, but sometimes I just make that up. But she's my mom's favorite. She's my mom's favorite. So
Yeah.
it balances out, right? There's just two of us. And so I think that like, yes, my dad laughs at me sometimes because I come to him and I was like, hey, I think I need my oil changed. And he was like, hey, I checked your oil. There's nothing wrong with it. And I was like, wait, does it turn on when you turn on the car? And he just like walked away from me because it was kind of like, I can't handle you right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, like a lot of times whenever I'm in need, like my dad is like, I love my mom so much, but it's not until my dad like comforts me that I'm like, okay, Dad. Like I feel better. And so for me, it's like finding that balance of like, how do I find comfort in myself without having to depend on someone like my dad? Because I always went to my dad anytime that I struggled, even emotionally in high school. Like my dad would just listen to me and he would like pet my head or like touch my shoulder and he'd be like, it'll be kind of okay. And I wouldn't get a lecture from him. It would just be like, all right, like we'll get through this together.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
what I'm getting is Emma wants a man like her father. And I think we want, women like our...
Wait, what is Dwight Sway? Emma will pick the man that smells most
bit of a
closest like her father.
Oedipus complex? Or?
Absolutely.
All right.
No.
So,
There's a little bit in there.
Rafa,
Ding.
you have anything else or you good?
No, I feel like we could talk for hours
We
and
could
hours.
talk for
That's
hours.
the problem.
Oh my gosh.
That's the problem.
So
Okay.
you
Yeah,
guys
no.
will come back again, please?
Oh,
Please.
Yeah, we'll come
of
back. We'll come
course.
back.
Okay, so let's play a quick game because
Yes.
we've been at this for a little bit.
I
so
know.
so here's the game. It's
Zorric
called
loves his
Like a
music.
It's called-
rom-com.
It's called Would You Rather. I'm gonna ask
Tell me
Emma,
the rules.
Rafa, and Eva a question, and they would say they would rather do this or do that.
I'm scared.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, okay.
It's easy. It's easy. It's
You know what? I'm such a fool. You know what I was thinking?
Oh my God.
I thought this was F, marry, kill.
Oh no, we've done that
We've
before.
done that
They're
Oh,
like
okay.
cousins.
But that's too
Okay.
easy. That's too easy.
That's too easy.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
It's not easy for me. I have a hard time with that one.
All right, Jason Momoa, Henry Cavill, or Ben Affleck.
Fuck Kill Ben Affleck so fast.
Oh, shit.
Marry Jason and fuck Henry or whatever.
I'd
Gotcha,
go like
gotcha.
a little bit opposite. I'd
Gotcha.
marry Henry. I'd fuck Jason. Is that what you said?
No.
Okay,
No,
so yeah.
yeah, those are the
Gotcha.
two.
And
that-
I would still.
But y'all would
Ben
still
Affleck.
kill Ben.
Who would want that?
Jennifer Garner.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Emma, here we
Yes.
go. Let's
Oh
start
my
with
gosh,
the first
I'm so scared.
first question here for you.
Are y'all just
You're
loving his
good.
sound
You're good.
effects?
He's
Okay.
good. He's good.
Would
He's
you
nerded out on this so much.
would you rather stop using the internet or stop using deodorant?
Stop using deodorant.
Why?
Oh my god.
Because I go through phases where I don't use deodorant.
Oh yeah. That's a good answer. Sorry, I guess I'm drunk because I thought.
Final
the
answer?
opposite.
Cornstarch.
There's lots of natural.
Or it's
remedies.
called like perfume. It's called essential oils.
It's called air conditioning on your pig.
Okay. All right. Eva, you ready?
I'm ready. God.
This is so
I
amazing.
sound like you're ready too.
All right, here you go. Would you rather marry somebody with a large penis or a large wallet?
I guess a wallet.
Yeah.
Wallets.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes a large penis is scary, okay? It's
Honestly,
scary.
True. It's a lot of work.
And if you really want that large penis,
Wallet,
I feel
you
like
can, I mean,
a
you
large
can pay for
wallet
it.
could
I
get.
agree.
Yeah.
Exactly. We can buy a bigger dick.
Okay.
Cannot buy a bigger
Dude,
wallet.
You know,
Well-
our vaginas like may like shoot out a baby, but like when it goes like in the other way, like it's not ready for it sometimes.
And if they don't know what they're doing with it, but that's another story.
Okay. All right, Rafa, you ready?
Yes, sir.
There's so many here. So many good questions.
Yikes.
Would you rather have sex with the lights on or off?
That's easy.
Oh, lights on.
Lights
I'm
on.
a theater person.
Wait a
yeah.
second. Put the light on me, dear. I need the spotlight.
Let me adjust it so that you're in focus.
That's a beautiful answer.
Okay, Emma likes that answer. That's great.
It shows you're not ashamed.
I'm not ashamed.
I'm not.
Okay, all right.
Can we ask you one?
I know. Why can't
Let
we
me
ask
ask
Zorric
you
one?
one.
I'm
You
the host.
press the sound effects. I'm gonna ask.
I'm
This
the
is
host.
we're taking over Zorric's game here.
Yeah, I'm all about equality, Zorric.
Look at Evita over there.
All right, I'm ready.
Would you? Would you rather marry Dwight or Kevin?
Ooh.
Well,
From the office.
Not from your life.
I think Dwight is taller, so he probably has a bigger penis.
Stop
Wow.
it. Kevin has really
Okay.
good chili though.
No, he drops it on the floor so you can never
But
taste
I
it.
mean, a larger penis, a
What?
beet farm,
And like controlling
bears and
horrible
Battlestar
behavior.
and Battlestar Galactica.
Wait, hold on. This
Bears mean
Kevin
battle
is
for-
the accountant, right? He probably makes more.
Oh,
No,
you're a
because
Well,
sales,
Dwight's in
Dwight
sales.
No,
outsales.
Dwight
and he
makes
out.
that.
Yes, he got
Yeah,
that.
and he's
He
the
got
top
that
dog.
sales
He
award.
got that twice in February.
They gave him
Trust
2 plaques
me,
in
Kevin
lieu of
is
a
dumb
pay
with
raise.
his money too. Like Kevin doesn't.
You're
So-
seriously
Too
like,
long.
Rafa, you're like speaking my love language right now.
I think it's gonna be Dwight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I'll
yes.
give you your sheet
You
then.
just make that one up, right?
No, it's literally.
Oh,
there.
it's seriously
This is
on
for
there?
Emma. This is for. All right, Emma, you ready?
This is
Yeah.
too much.
Oh shit. Sorry.
You're drunk.
Emma, you ready?
Yeah. I think I cuss on this episode, which I never really
Would
do.
you rather
Congrats.
make your partner moan or laugh?
Aw. This is my kind of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Moan.
Moan. Why?
I can't tell you specifics on that.
No, yes you can. Come on.
No.
Go ahead.
I'm really good at doing stuff that I shouldn't.
Oh
talk
my
about.
god, thanks.
Wow.
Is it?
I-
Is it?
I was gonna ask if it would be easier to do one over the other.
Maybe for some people.
I feel like it'd be easier to make someone
Why
laugh.
not both? You could do both. Get you somebody that can do both.
I can do both. I have good talents.
Oh my god. She's really good at stand-up.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
I'm really good at stand-up comedy.
How many bottles have we gone through?
Like 2 minutes.
Her lips are purple.
No, my lips or teeth do not get purple.
Oh my god.
What is going on?
This is rated R.
Eva's turn.
Go
All right,
cannot
Eva, you
listen
ready?
to
I'm still
this.
very private with this.
Go cannot listen
I
to
did
this.
not admit to anything.
You're right, you didn't. But
I
like on a
didn't.
podcast, I just don't like people knowing
I
that.
didn't admit to anything. I was very
You did.
secretive about
You
it.
might be really good at making
All right, Emma.
moan to a book.
We're good. We're good.
Exactly.
So, Eva, would
Yes.
you rather give a hickey or
Uh-huh.
receive a hickey?
Fucking give a hickey.
Why?
Right.
Because I'm a fucking professional bitch. It was embarrassing. It happened the other day.
What?
Wait a minute!
I am very.
Wait a minute!
Tell us the story.
Okay, so I'm very like fuck hickeys.
Look, Rafa didn't even know this.
She don't share like that. But that's a headline if I've ever heard one. Because I'm a fucking professional bitch.
Really though, like I can't walk into a meeting. Hello.
I
have
think
a
that's
hickey
gonna
on
be
neck.
my Instagram story for Thursday.
Seriously. Earnings are down for quarter 4 2018.
Because
Don't mind the
I'm a
hickey,
fucking-
motherfucker.
Exactly. So I don't like unless it's not visible, right? So like if it's in visible places, like don't do it. I have business to it like go to and I don't want to be perceived that way. And so I'm always very cautious of that. Like, no, that's visible.
If it's in, move down, homeboy. Move down,
So then
homeboy.
basically,
All the way down.
so then I had like just a hookup, and then the
Oh. Wait, who is
next day,
this?
it doesn't matter.
Zorric, you ain't got no music for that, bro.
Anyway, had a hiccup. Ooh, that's cute.
Hiccup.
A hickey hookup. Okay. Sorry. I had a hookup and then I thought I was living my best life. I was clean, proper, Catholic girl, never had sex, like Virgen Maria over here. And
Santa Maria, Maria,
You didn't have
You know,
sex.
that's a lie.
so then I went to work. I think I'm just shining after this. And then, why is it sad? I'm sad.
It's romantic.
Oh, is that what that is?
It's like a telenovela.
So anyways, long story short,
Tiempo
my
de
friend
vals.
goes, my coworker goes, is that a hickey? And I said, no. And I looked and it was a fucking hickey. And I was so embarrassed. And she started cracking up and she was like, I was just kidding. And I was like, oh my fucking God, I didn't know I had a hickey. And so I ran to the bathroom and I was like, oh my God.
Lipstick trick or like put a little vapor up
Don't
on
do
it.
that.
I had to borrow fucking makeup from my coworker.
Now,
'cause
girl,
it was that visible.
Just either do a little like vapor up or like use your lipstick to
And do
like
this.
crush. Yes, or vapor up because vapor up
Like
helps with
Vaporub?
bruising. Yeah, Vaporub.
Yeah.
Okay.
It helps with bruising. Anytime I hit my head, because it happens like I'm like so clumsy, I pull a little vapor up.
I didn't even know it was there. And so when she said that, I was like, I want to die in a fire.
Wait, you don't like put vapor up at night before you go to sleep?
Not only when I'm like can't breathe.
Oh, I do it every night. It's on my
No,
chest.
I don't
it's
think
in
that's
my
healthy.
nose.
On your feet and put socks on.
When I'm-
and
Yes,
that's
everything.
what I do
Just that? Yeah.
Only when I'm sick. Anyways, I was very embarrassed and I still laugh with my friend because I'm like, I didn't. And the fact that I didn't even know it was there. And so then I had to send a text like, what the fuck? So that's
How
Sometimes they do it
dare
on
you.
purpose.
Oh.
literally, I was like, I'm a professional. Why'd you do this to me?
I'm a fucking professional bitch.
All right, Rafa. We got something for you.
Here we. Uh oh.
It's not that bad.
Oh, okay, cool.
Don't give him easy ones. That's not fair.
Not easy.
I'm over here
ones.
sharing my
I
secret.
like them easy.
I didn't. Oh my God, this.
That's what
the
she said.
questions.
I like them easy. Or that's what he said.
Okay, here we go, Rafa.
Or he said.
I
Rafa.
said that's what he said.
Would you rather have the most perfect first date but no sex, or have a very, very horrible first date, but mind-blowing sex afterwards?
Oh my God, Dex.
That's so hard.
It really
Physically.
is.
It is not that hard for you. I know what you're gonna
No,
choose.
what am I gonna say?
Go. I'm not gonna say it.
That is really difficult
It's hard.
because I'm a person of experiences, and so it really, well, considering I'd go on a first date.
Oh wait,
I
so
really-
we're not going on a first date?
Oh, sorry.
Oh shit!
So a really perfect first date, or oh goodness, stumped me, man.
This is different. Yeah. Perfect first
Eva
date.
and I called the same answer, so we'll see if we're right.
Perfect first date, no sex, but horrible date and like mind blowing, rock your world. She's on top, she's on bottom.
Perfect first date. Perfect first date.
That's what we call it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
No way. No, y'all didn't.
yeah,
Did y'all
yeah.
write it down somewhere?
Yes, I
No,
went
she
like
put her
this.
finger. She put
Y'all are
one finger
lying.
for number
Whatever.
one.
I don't believe y'all.
No.
Don't.
I swear.
And also, the
On
no
this-
sex doesn't mean it's gonna be bad sex. The no sex means not sex the first time.
It
and
does not
can
mean.
be
It
mind-blowing
only
later.
means maybe it's not coitus. It doesn't mean it could not be oral.
Blowjob, okay? Don't say coitus.
Still exciting.
Coitus.
different.
Coitus is penetration.
Yeah, coitus is penetration,
I'm
not
learning.
oral.
I'm learning some.
Coitus.
Okay.
That's a scientific term.
It is.
Okay.
I learned that from my doctor.
And so is it your
Oh,
turn?
I learned that at sex
Zorric?
therapy.
is it?
There you go.
It's your turn.
It is my turn again.
Oh.
I get the sheet.
It's your
Oh,
turn.
give
Okay.
Eva the sheet.
Oh, shit.
Eva,
Okay.
Eva,
One more
Eva.
round. One more round.
One more round.
Oh my god, this is the first question I saw and I'm running with it.
Yeah.
Would you rather have pubic hair on your face or teeth on your genitals?
Or what?
Teeth on your genitals.
Oh, that's easy.
Pubic hair though.
How long is a pubic hair?
It's nasty and long. At least a few inches.
Are the teeth white on my genitals?
No, they're yellow and crusty.
Is it one tooth or
No,
multiple
multiple
teeth?
teeth is multiple.
Teeth is.
It's like the movie Teeth, the scary movie. Did you ever see it? Vagina Dentata?
No, I never.
So
I watched it.
The easy answer is pubic hair on my face. Obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, I would rather.
That's fine.
Never mind.
No.
You could just chop
I-
dicks off with your teeth.
What would you do, Rob?
I thought you were going to say the teeth.
No, because
Because
like,
I've had teeth and it's been like, okay. Like, I'm drunk enough.
okay, one more round. That's it. One more round. Emma.
I love that everyone's
last
a little
round.
like toasty right
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah.
now.
Just a little bit.
Just.
Oh, my second bottle of water.
Jeez, like these are so.
There's so many.
They're so.
Did you come up with these questions?
I had to scour the
We
internet.
looked him up, and then he was. We were going over them last night
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
in our minimum
revision.
30-minute
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
On the
All
phone.
On the phone
On the
that
phone.
you don't
Okay.
use.
This is an easy
Wow,
one for
that's amazing.
Emma, but okay, let's go with this one.
I have him on speed dial. I think.
Okay. Emma, would you rather have sex with Toby or Creed?
Oh my gosh. Oh
Easy.
Is it easy?
That's super easy.
Toby
I don't know. Creed
or Creed?
has been like. Creed has declared that he's been in multiple like cults, both as a leader and a follower. And Toby got
But
out of being a Catholic priest because he found his ex-wife and fell in love with her. So his penis is a little bit cleaner. So I'm gonna go with
True.
a clean penis. I'm gonna go with Toby.
ooh.
Oh.
I don't.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
gonna go with the clean penis.
Is a clean penis a good penis though?
I don't care. It's a
Okay,
clean penis.
I'm just curious. I was just devil's advocate.
I know. Like if I wanted like dirty and raunchy, then I would go with Creed. But
Because
I
he
also
did go to
worried about an
Woodstock.
STD. Yeah, and he had both sexual intercourse with both men and women. They couldn't tell.
There's no way of knowing.
There's no way of knowing.
No way of knowing.
Okay.
Creed's my second favorite character after Michael.
Oh my, yes. Like,
He's so insane.
my favorite one is whenever my sister and I are like, swing low, sweet chariots.
Oh
Swing
yeah,
low."
swing low, sweet chariot. I find it offensive. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely Creed.
And when they're playing
You're taking too
murder,
long to brew on my question.
when they're playing murder, and
I
then
see
he's
you.
like, "There's been a murder." He's like, "I'll be right back, boss," and he leaves. Sorry, Rafa and
Okay.
I are bonding. I don't know
Okay.
what else you
Connecting
want
right
from
now.
us.
Okay. Eva.
Yes.
Have I ever bonded with a guest like this before? No.
No. This is.
Allow
this
me to
is
be.
Crazy.
Aw.
Oh.
And
Oh
Eva
my
and I
gosh.
have bonded too, but you guys can't see it because
It's
like we've been
fine.
like touching each other.
Oh my gosh. I know this answer. This is so easy for you.
What?
Y'all fake
Ooh.
guessed on my answer.
All right.
No, we didn't.
Eva.
No.
Would you rather have a wonderful date with somebody who's super smart, but found out midway through that you have completely opposite political views?
Ooh.
Or have a date with someone you're really attractive to, but who doesn't listen and isn't a stimulating conversationalist?
Ooh, this is hard, Eva.
I've ever heard.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, is this just a date?
It's only done because you don't like the question.
If it's a
so
date, I go with
hard.
number 2.
Number 2.
What?
I'm just gonna fucking leave.
But he's hot. But he's hot, right? That's
Yeah.
Fuck a Trump supporter?
No, number 2 is that he's hot and there's no
there's
excitement.
there's
But
no
no-
like conversation.
Oh, you'd go
I'm just-
with number 2.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm just gonna fuck the hot guy and go. I'm not gonna fucking fuck a Trump supporter because he's into no, you can't.
Fake news.
Yeah.
Build a wall.
Right?
Oh,
conversation
that's a
is
good
cool.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I can't.
Fake news. Sorry.
If it's
Okay.
just a date, if it's marriage, I could not choose either. Like I would have to jump off a cliff
Okay.
Or a bridge.
or like Ari.
Okay, last one, Rafa. This is also easy.
Hold on. Let me get a few more of this red wine in.
Take a little sippy sip.
Oh, like that voice though. Take a little sip.
There's
Voices come out when I'm drinking.
It's fine.
there's so
There's no
many-
shame.
okay.
There's so many questions. Zorric literally has 2 front and back pages of
I-
Of
questions.
questions.
Like,
You know what?
Lines.
He
Times
makes fun
New
of me
Roman,
for being,
size
like,
8
type A.
font.
Yeah,
8.
he makes fun of me for being type A, but like he's very type A too.
Yeah, y'all work well together.
Yes, we do. We're both 3s too on the Enneagram.
Okay.
What's that one?
E
I
and
don't know
Z.
that.
3.
It's
We're
very
3.
easy.
We're 3s.
We're 3s.
On the whatagram?
Z.
Enneagram. Ooh,
Yeah.
let's talk about that
I
off
don't know
air.
that one.
Easy.
Let's talk about it,
It
off
is.
air.
It is
Okay.
crazy.
You'll
Okay.
like
Okay, Rafa. This
Okay.
might be embarrassing. I'm sorry. But would you rather let out a noticeable fart around your date?
Oh my gosh.
Or go
Done it.
number 2 during your date and then realize there's no toilet paper?
So can I? So
He's dying.
in lieu of
Emma,
this,
are you okay?
can I tell you a funny story?
All right, go ahead.
Stop!
Good. I want to hear it. We
That's
want
what I think you're
No, I'm not gonna bring up that
Bring
one.
it.
But I was asleep with a significant other
Ooh.
who it wasn't far long enough to where we were okay. Like it wasn't at fart point. That's a good marker,
It is
I
a
think.
good marker.
Trademark mark that.
But
We've talked about this on the
Fart
on the
point.
podcast
Okay, go
before.
ahead.
okay, cool.
Go ahead.
But I farted in my sleep
Oh, that's okay.
and it woke me up. and I'm typically a non-smelly farter. This
fucking
one,
music.
this fart could end the world.
Wow.
Oh my
This
god.
flatulence?
Yes, it was the most embarrassing thing ever.
Yeah.
And like it was pungent. And it like burned my eyes.
I'm over you.
So that was and what was the second part of the question? Cuz I had another story about that one too.
Or
Wait, what? Or have to take a number 2 and find
not
one.
have toilet paper.
There's
So-
no toilet paper.
With a
Along
significant
came
other,
With the
Of-
same one or a different
no,
one?
different significant
Oh,
other.
nasty ass
This was
significant
a significant other of a few years. We were past fart point. We were at my place, and I made a joke, and thought it would be funny to fart in my significant other's vicinity, but the fart was more than a fart.
It was a shard.
Yeah.
That's natural.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So I ended up jumping into the shower and asking significant other to help.
Help shower
What?
or
They
help?
helped you wipe your ass?
Help take my stuff off, and obviously
That's
she
so
was.
sweet.
That's
she
kind of
was-
hot, you know.
You have a weird kink.
Hey, scrub this shit off my boxers.
So why did you ask her to
Um,
wipe your shit?
Because it was embarrassing, but I felt comfortable enough to tell her,
That's
like, hey, you
sweet.
know. So yeah, that happened. But if I had to answer, I would easily go for the fart because
Okay.
the shart or the no toilet paper.
That's
way
that's a
more
fart
embarrassing.
Times 30.
The
Yeah.
only thing that's ever acceptable is farting in your sleep.
Wait, Rafa, when you orgasm,
I don't know if
is it
Rafa
okay?
thinks it's acceptable.
You
To come.
can't
Is it-
ask
wait,
people this question.
when you orgasm, is it okay to fart?
Ooh, I've done that a few times. And I don't know if they were just that nice or...
No, I'll ignore the crap out of it.
So, yeah, like, what do you... I mean, if it's natural... It's flatulence is natural.
I said it. I said... on one, like...
Is it at the same time, like, you're reaching orgasm and you fart?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I literally said... oh, my God, did you hear that? I said it. And she started laughing. She was like, yeah. And we joked about it. And I felt like an idiot.
Was it loud?
And it was embarrassing. It was loud.
It is funny.
Stop it.
Because you're contracting, so you're very tight. And so anything that comes out is going to be loud. It was like a trumpet.
Stop it! Stop it!
Yes.
I think if you have a good connection with a person, it's funny. If you just met them, it's like, okay.
But I think that I'm that kind of... Well, I feel like I'm goofy enough to be like, okay, if this was embarrassing, like, we can revel in my...
I mean, I think it's okay to be a little embarrassed and still think it's funny.
Yeah.
Right. That's where I was.
Okay.
And was like, no.
No farts allowed.
I've spoken about this before on another episode where we talked about flatulence, and it's only okay if it's in your sleep.
Oh my God.
Because I will hold
I'm
it.
pro fart.
No, I will hold
Except
it.
I need you to not fart at first. Act like we both don't fart.
Exactly.
We'll be act like we're perfect, and then once we're comfortable, we can fart.
Again, I've never been to the point of the relationship where it's okay.
Oh.
And so, like, for me, pretend like it doesn't happen.
What if it's during anal? Is that okay?
No! It's no! Like, it's
Okay.
no.
I mean, but
I
can
mean,
you
it's going
help
to
it?
happen
It's
eventually.
natural. You're in the butthole.
Because, well, how...
Things are
It depends
always
what
supposed to come
your...
out.
It depends what your protocol is for anal, but I feel like it's
Wait,
eventually
who
going to
farted?
happen.
The person receiving or giving?
Give it. Or receiving.
Yeah, what can you
Yeah.
help? That's
Yeah.
natural. There might be
Because
air.
eventually
It's
you're
like
going to
a
have
queef from the
to let loose.
butt. A butt queef.
Okay, that's a
I
game.
didn't fart, I butt queefed.
What you know about that
Thank
butt
you.
queef?
Thanks for playing Would You Rather.
No, we didn't
Oh
finish
my
with you.
God, thanks.
You did. You
true.
get one more.
It's over.
No,
You do
it's not.
Ooh, I have a
Eva.
good question.
Okay.
Oh, okay. What is it?
It better
Go
be
ahead.
good.
Last
This is our
one,
last
last
one.
I need to think of it.
Oh my! Look at the list.
Would you rather have
Go ahead.
I'm nervous. Bruh,
Oh, goodness.
Don't mess this up.
Oh goodness.
Keep it real. We're already at butt queef. Like you can go from there.
Can
That's
we?
the level we're at.
It's like anything you can ask at this point. Like it's that,
Okay.
You know what you can talk about?
What? Ooh.
I don't know if you want to do that.
That's kind of gross. Would you rather enter a blue waffle vagina?
What's a blue waffle vagina?
What's that?
Oh.
I don't know.
Maybe
Do not
Google it.
You might need to edit this
Okay,
episode.
readjust that question then. We won't traumatize y'all. Maybe don't go
won't.
view it if you're a listener of the Date Podcast. You hate us.
Do this on like your personal phone on a private
safe for
window.
work.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Then would you rather accidentally receive an amazing blowjob
What?
How's that an accident?
by a male?
Oh.
Or enter and have amazing anal with a male?
Is this like weirdly homophobic?
This is
No.
To me, it just sounds like if you prefer head or coitus.
I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah.
You know, I'll
It's-
tell
it-
you what I prefer off air.
Oh.
You don't have to, girl. You can do it right here.
Nope.
It's about it's got to be head because I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah. Tina,
Okay,
you don't know.
I get it.
Good head.
Good head. I mean, good head feels better than the risky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
Like
Anal could be a
risky,
little bit
queefy
risky.
butthole?
No, anal could be a little bit risky in how it feels. Because sometimes you're like,
Well, sometimes things poke back at you. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
and you're like, yeah.
like a turd.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is getting really sexual. Okay. So.
Yes! Oh, let's make
You and
Zorric comfortable. Let's make Zorric comfortable. Let's make
Okay.
Zorric comfortable.
So thanks for
'Cause
playing,
you always
everyone.
make
This
me
is
uncomfortable.
called.
No, you didn't answer. You didn't answer.
I did. I said
He
a
did.
blowjob.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he
he's
did.
ahead.
Okay.
Oh,
What is this Looney Tunes ass song?
Yeah, this is
I
like the
ignore
outro.
Zorric all the time.
This is the outro.
Oh,
So
cute.
this is literally the longest episode
Yes,
we've
this
done
has been.
because
Sorry.
we can like keep talking.
No,
you guys.
are you kidding me? We're having so much fun.
Okay,
Good.
so
You guys are coming back, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
And
Definitely.
I will
As long
buy.
as there's more cheese than meat.
there's
and
so much
wine.
more.
You
The wine and
guys-
charcuterie.
Charcuterie gang.
Amazing.
You guys,
Iconic.
you guys,
Yes.
you're gonna be invited to
Aw.
my next wine night.
Yay.
I feel so
you guys,
honored.
no,
You're
like
honored.
for reals.
No, we get fucked.
You had me at
We
wine.
get fucked at this wine party.
We
No,
do?
you guys,
Yeah.
like
I've never been fucked.
again.
But you
Anally?
get fucked.
I'm not
Touching
a sommelier. Like
I have a hard time with like a big dump.
no,
So
you guys.
I
I'm
don't
not
know
a
what's gonna
sommelier.
happen.
You guys will be like the second pair of guests that have been invited. Like I'm very exclusive on who
Legendary.
I invite.
Yeah, legendary. All
You
right.
guys
my
are like
arm.
so welcome. Like let's be like so like Latinx, Latino, Latina together. Like oh my gosh, I'm living for this right now so much.
Sounds good.
Did you just say
Like,
Latin
I-
XXX?
No, I said Latinx, Latino,
Oh.
Latina.
That's a porn
Oh,
like
okay.
channel.
Like I am like.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, I'm on
gosh.
it.
I'm like I can speak Spanish with you guys. Like I
Yes.
can be like so like Hispanic
I
or like
can't.
Latin as I want. Like I'm so excited.
Oh my god.
My mom's gonna be like, "Oh, you hang out with people again."
We're here. We're people.
All right. So Eva, so our listeners are single.
yes,
they're
yes, yes,
they're
yes.
millennials. They're looking
Like
for
us.
love. What can you like? What type of advice can you give them as far as gender roles and dating? Like bottom line.
I just say know yourself before you go looking for someone else. Because if you don't
Boom.
love yourself, then you can't love anybody else, like RuPaul says. Because I really think that's the base of genuine respect and kindness and caring and all those beautiful things that are supposed to come with a relationship. And do what works for you. Like, don't worry about what society says and all of that. If it's the right person for you, it'll be natural, it'll feel comfortable, and it'll be beautiful in its own way. So
Beautiful.
also don't focus on it so much. I think we focus on finding happiness through dating and marriage
snap,
and
snap.
love, and like you can find happiness in other ways, or you can receive that love in other ways, and you can give yourself that love in other ways besides just looking for marriage as happiness, because I don't think that's the only key.
I gotcha. All right. So Rafa, what's your last words for the audience?
I feel like you spoke to my psychic before this.
I didn't. I wish I could say I did. It's just who I am.
I agree with that.
Okay.
And then alluding back to the advice I had received in terms of marriage, which is applicable to just relationship outlooks in general. Don't let titles define the role in a relationship. So be you, and let that other person be themselves, and enjoy that experience.
Okay. Beautiful. Where can we find you guys?
Yeah.
Ooh, find us, follow us, fuck with us.
At The Colores Co. You can find all our work on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think we have a Snapchat, but we don't do much there. And then individually, I'm at Eva Arreguin, which is EVAARREGUIN. I really love Twitter.com. It's my fave. And Instagram as well.
They should sponsor you.
They
really
honestly
should.
should, because I talk about how much I
Eva
love it.
Arreguin went viral.
Yes, she did with the rustic, right?
Shouted
times,
a few
actually.
times.
Ooh.
I had gone viral a few years back on
Shut
Vine.
up. I'm over
we're-
you.
When you
We're
were
not gonna talk
a
about that.
freestyle rap.
Ooh,
Like,
He
that's
also
a different thing.
never talks
Oh.
about how he was in the most iconic Chicano film, but
wait, what?
I always have to let it out because he's so humble. But he was in Selena.
What? Where?
He was little AB. I'm telling your whole life. I'm sorry.
You were little AB? Are you
I was.
serious right
Oh
now?
my gosh.
I was
I'm gonna look you up on
Listen
IMDb.
to episode
I'm on
24
there.
of De Colores
I
Radio.
thought I did. Oh my
I'm on
gosh,
there.
you guys! Like,
But
Hold on,
find
no, like, for
me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat as Exile, EKZILE, for the military brats, Echo, Kilo, Zulu, India, Lima,
You forgot
Echo.
the I. It's okay.
No, I said India.
You guys. Yes.
We're gonna put
He
that
has
on
an
the website.
IMDb.
Yeah, I've done a few things.
He's kind of a big deal.
I've done a little bit of work.
You were on Walker, Texas Ranger?
I was. Those are
Oh
funny
my
episodes.
I'm telling you, he's so humble. I have to brag for him sometimes.
It's not that I'm well.
You
yeah.
are humble.
I
The same way you can brag about me, I like to brag about you.
Anyway, yes, but that's where. And then Pat.
Yeah, Pat is our trio. She's my
Yes.
sister, older sister.
At
Older sister, so like
Arreguin.
Pat and I are like kindred spirits, and then my sister Edith and Eva
Pat's
are
like that
kindred
undercover
spirits.
cool. Like we will go anywhere and everywhere, and it's like, oh yeah, Pat. Oh yes, Pat.
Funny story. I thought Eva was the older sister because our
Everybody
personalities are
thinks-
very
Everybody.
similar.
That's what I thought at
and
first too.
Pat and my sister, but no, but like truly, like you, like our personalities are like very similar. And then Pat and my sister are very similar. So when we met, and she was like, "I'm the older sister," my sister and I were like, "What?" And then my
Yeah.
sister said made a comment, and she was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh." The roles are reversed. I was like, "This is kind of weird."
How funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody thinks I'm older because I'm mature or whatever the hell that means. All those things.
Yeah, but Pat's probably working like a show right now, like a music
In the live
concert or
music
something.
industry?
Yeah.
We're just making dumb inside jokes. Sorry.
No, but because Pat does work in the live music industry.
We do love Pat.
That's
Shout
cool.
out to Pat.
Like she gets to, she's one of the reasons we kind of make some of the connections we do in terms
Yeah.
of like the music events that we do.
Yeah, and because she's like, you guys always make fun of her for always going to these music festivals, but I feel like she's
We do.
always like,
It's
Yeah,
mostly-
but she's
I don't
out
even
there.
make fun of her for that. I make fun of her because she's a hipster and she likes to act like she's
Right.
not. And I'm like, girl.
So it's her attitude
saw
that we make fun of. Her.
Shoebox Gaze.
She's very
Like,
hipster.
she's
She's very hipster,
she
but
needs
we
to come
love her
hang out
for
with
it.
Zorric and me.
No, she really
no,
does.
but she likes to pretend she's not, and she
We
hates all
went-
the stereotypes that come with it.
Exactly. We went to LA, to Long Beach for that Tropicalia festival.
Which
yeah.
I was really jealous. You got to see Broncos
Yeah.
and
Oh
Sonora
my God.
Dinamita.
Yes.
I was like,
Amazing.
oh my gosh.
Amazing. But Pat was the one that was like, "Oh, look, this is such and such.
I've
and
already
these are
seen
these
her.
people.
I'm not gonna see
And-
them
That's
again.
No,
what-
and
yeah,
it,
because you guys were
and it was
making
like,
fun of
go see them and go do this and look. And so she's a lot of the reason that we kind of keep those networks alive because she connects us to people. Even though she's not very vocal, she says, "Hey, look, this is what I do, and this is Eva, this is Rafa," and then we're like, "Okay, cool," and then we work that angle. But yeah.
Cool.
That's a lot.
I liked Pat too. I told her to come over if she was free.
Yeah.
I told her she didn't have to be on the mic, but she could come over.
Yeah,
for
she
wine
can hang
cheese
and
eat.
drink.
Next time,
Next
next
time,
time.
please,
Next time,
please
for
bring her.
sure.
in.
Yeah, no, we'll for sure bring
She'd say
Pat.
a lot of weird things unexpectedly.
I would love it.
No, we would
Yes.
love her on the mic.
Pat's
There's
amazing.
One spot for her right
She-
there.
Yes.
Yes, she brings up very weird topics, but
Not
we're
even
down.
on
We love her.
purpose. Just
Yeah,
because
because that's who she is.
Yeah.
What I learned.
Okay, what did you learn, Emma? From
So my psychic.
about them. What did you learn about them? Not just psychic.
No, hold on. So
Okay.
my psychic told me that one of the things I need to work on is not being so image focused, which is, you know, I'm a 3. I'm an Enneagram. On the 3 on the Enneagram, which 3s are very image focused. We'll
Yeah, I need
teach
to
you
learn
about
more
it later.
about that.
And so one of the things you told me is to not be so image focused and to really like kind of go with what's going on in the moment and to kind of break what I think needs to happen. And so this just reminded me of, yes, I need to break what I think needs to happen and actually put into the universe what I actually want, which I do want a partner that
Speak it into existence.
exactly like sees me as an equal who like supports me if this is what I want to do for the moment, or if I want to focus, like if I want to be like a mom and really focus on that, like help me focus on that. If I want to start like my career, like really focus on my private practice. So I'm speaking it out to the universe because that's what my psychic told me.
Aw,
Okay, so what'd you learn from Eva and Rafa?
Oh,
That's the question.
You know what? I appreciate that.
I learned
Okay.
again that I can be a bad A.
Wait, hold on. What'd you learn from these two? Like,
That's what I
Oh,
learned from Eva, is that I can do whatever I want as
Yes,
long as I'm a
because you're
bad
a fucking professional
There
ass
you
Yes.
Okay, so
No,
New
I had a lot of
tagline.
fun with you guys. Like, oh
Yeah,
my god,
it was
come
great.
back. I'll feed you. I'll make you dinner.
That's an easy way to get us here.
True. You said wine and charcuterie. I was here. I was like, what?
Where?
Yep.
I'm here.
All right, Zorric, what'd you get out of this?
So I learned that Rafa likes to write long emails.
Okay. Well, yeah. When I'm excited. Yeah, you're right.
When he's excited.
Yeah.
After he's watched porn.
True.
And Eva likes to give hickeys.
Sure. I like giving
That's a
other
good
things
one.
more than that. But
Whoa!
You guys, seriously, I think we need to start like after the podcast.
After hours. Okay. Emma, can you take us away?
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank you
thanks,
so
guys.
much, you
No,
guys.
thank you.
I
having
love
us.
you
We
guys
appreciate
so
it.
much.
We had so much fun. Thank
I'm
you.
seriously like fangirling it out. Like this is the
Aw.
second
No,
time
wait.
it's happened.
Stop. So she was so excited. I mean, she was like a 5-year-old. Like, oh my gosh, they're coming. I'm like, okay, well, just calm down. We'll be okay.
He's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No, I'm like really anxious." I'm like,
Oh,
but
no.
like excited, like
Yeah.
anxious.
A good anxious.
Yeah, like
We're like
This
thinking
is
of our
fun.
settings.
This is what we're about. Like, this is fun. This was really cool,
Good.
really
And
fun.
so what was funny
So
is
thank
that
you.
at the because I met you at Dia de los Muertos
That's right,
event,
yeah.
and so my sister was like, "Did you only bring me here for networking?" And I was like, "No, I brought you here so we can learn about our culture."
This is fun. This is fun.
Yeah, we're learning here. And she was like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yes,
Have a good time.
enjoy it. I'll buy you tacos."
Did
and
you have a good
horchata."
time?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's cool,
it was
right?
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had horchata.
Don't
I
lie.
bought
Oh,
chocolate.
good.
The chocolate's great, right?
And then I went home and I was like, "Look, Mom, you
I'm cultured.
kept me away from this, but look, I brought you some chocolate." And then she picked the one that, because I asked, oh my gosh, what's her name?
Cindy?
Cindy. I asked Cindy. She was like, "What do you want?" I was like, can you just give me like your favorites?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'll pick my favorites." I was like, "Perfect." And my mom picked the one that had rum.
Ooh.
And I was like, "Mami, tiene ron." She's like, "Okay, está bien."
That's my favorite.
That's one of Cindy's favorites too.
Yeah, that's
So,
one
yeah.
that she put on there. So I still have them in my fridge because I'm like not sharing with people.
Right.
I'll share my M&Ms with people, but I won't share those
No,
with people.
you shouldn't.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
Wait, you guys are coming back, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Please,
Definitely.
Please.
Please.
Okay.
No, of
Cool.
course.
Whenever you invite us, we're
Okay.
here.
Of course. It might have to be like 2019 because
It's like in
We're
2
good.
months.
Holidays are
It's in
coming.
2 months.
The year's
Wow.
Yeah.
over.
It's
Yeah.
freaking crazy.
like over.
Less than 2 months.
Yeah. it
Yeah.
is.
I think we should have dinner together.
Aw,
We can
yeah.
eat. Like we'll cook
I like that.
something. We'll talk about food. We'll talk about wine, and we'll talk
Dinner,
about dating.
food, wine. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
We can have
What
someone
more?
cater, right?
Oh my god.
We'll do that.
I'll just cook. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
I'm a great cook.
Salvadorian food.
I got my apron.
Can we
You make fun of it?
pupusas?
Yeah, I'll make pupusas.
Bruh, it's lit.
We're doing that. We're doing that.
I
Okay.
love pupusas.
Pupusa popping on the
Do
handstand.
you know what my niece says?
What?
She comes over and she's like, quiero pupusitas.
Oh
And I'm
my
like,
god, same. I'm your niece. Quiero pupusitas.
Yeah.
I go to Gloria's a lot because they have the no. But I'm like, well, this is what
They
we'll
have a
have
really
to do
good
for
happy
now.
hour though.
It's okay.
Yeah.
My mom, I mean, like, you guys, like, just come over to my mom's house and be like, "Hey, Mom, like, they're here. They want pupusas." And my mom and her grandma be like, "Okay."
I will learn to make them. Like I will be there working with them.
Yeah, no, I know how to make them, but they won't let you make them.
Oh.
They'll, like, seriously just sit you at the table. They'll, like, teach you, but then they'll sit you at the table and they'll just be like, "Here, eat."
My mom
That's
makes
how
me
they
get
are.
in the mix and do it.
No, my mom and my grandma cater to you,
Wow, that's
which is what's beautiful.
I love gender roles. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Which is why I'm really, like, yeah, I'm spoiled, but it's okay.
All right.
All right.
All right, Emma.
Yay! Our episode is over, you guys. Thank you so much for like listening.
This is the longest
For
episode.
our longest
This is
episode.
2 hours. This is.
Yep.
But we could go for 5 hours.
We
but
could
no.
go for
Aw.
5 hours. You guys,
Okay.
I'm like seriously,
We
like
had
I'm so happy you guys are
Such
here.
a great
No,
time.
we had
Thank
so
you for
much fun.
inviting
Of
us.
course, of course. So if you have any question, comments, topics that you want us to talk about, please email us at hello@datepodcast.com. Also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Date Podcast. And if you're following us on Instagram, know that we're going to be like questioning you with polls and having like
Polls.
funny things happen.
Thank you.
Polls, like POL.
I didn't want to be
say it wrong?
inappropriate, but thank you.
Did I say it wrong?
No,
Yeah,
you said it
it's
No, it's
exactly
very
the way.
sexual. Go ahead.
You guys are just perverts. That's what you are.
I'm
just little
stating the
pervy
obvious.
pervs.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyways,
I was
I have
thinking
funny
of
like
elections.
questions about it. I have funny things that you can answer yes or no, or like I give you 2 responses.
Mm-hmm.
Next time that I put anything that's cat related, please know that it is not me. Okay? I'm all
Open
about
bar or tiger?
Yeah. Open bar for Emma. Okay. Tiger for Zorric for the future. You guys, thank you so much for listening. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you, even if you were wrong in our last question.
Okay.
Bye.
Right. Bye, everyone.